Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live show.
Very happy to see you all here. Thank you.
We are now prepared to take you from the world of the paranormal, the world of the police, the world of the earth, to the world of the UFOs.
We make no apologies.
We take no prisoners.
Show might go anywhere.
What is this? Where are we? What are we doing?
All right, so everybody chill out, stop, relax, chill out, stop, relax. And let's all sit down and together as a group enjoy
The Thursday Evening Overdose.
Give it live now.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's April 9th, 2015, and this is the Thursday Evening Overdose.
The tornado edition.
All right, if you're going to come through with something, kid. Let's go.
Tornado edition.
Is there a tornado coming?
Yes.
The word on the street is there's a tornado coming.
All right, listen, we got Mac here in the studio, becoming a fixture, a mainstay
I'm
on
something,
the show.
all right.
With us is our old stupid friend Alex. Say hello, Alex.
Hey, fuck you, Ben.
He has no qualifications to be here. It's just
Nope.
it's the Thursday show. He probably has nothing to promote or nothing going on, but it's the it's the Thursday show, so anyone can stop by and talk. That's how it works. If you want to join us, well, there's no one here yet. We'll wait till things get going. And I'll get the number out and shit.
All right.
So what's up, everybody? How are you guys?
I'm
Good.
quite well.
Are you?
You guys want to
Let's
answer
read-
my earlier question about the Sarnaev thing?
Oh, sure. We can get into that, but before we do that, let's talk about the updates on what we were doing last week with Matt Gear and his father's mysterious suicide.
Great.
Yes. We have a GoFundMe page in full swing right now. It is out in full force.
Where can people find it?
I will put the link on our Facebook. It's already been posted from our Facebook several times, or you can go to GoFundMe and then search Matt's Search for Truth. We'll pull it up.
Matt's Search for Truth
Yeah.
on
Love that title.
GoFundMe. Yeah, you like
GoFundMe.com.
that?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, or find the Sunday Evening Overdose on Facebook, and we'll be posting it.
Yeah, I'll post it
regularly.
right now for you guys.
So there's.
We really don't need a lot of money. If
This is just a little experiment we're doing. We're going
Yeah.
to try to fund something through the show. If you guys want to get involved in the story, it's on YouTube in case you missed it. Matt, you want to recap it for people in your own words real quick?
I mean, when I was 6 years old, my dad committed suicide. At least that's what I've always been told. And just in recent years, the more about it that I've been told doesn't line up to other things I've been told about it in my adulthood versus my childhood recollections, and just a lot of things seem really hazy about it. And then there were some other things that my mom had told me last year about it that really just were just like red flags. Like, okay, this doesn't sound like a suicide as much as it sounds like a possible murder, or something's just fishy about it. And I'm willing. It's not like I said. I'm completely willing to accept this as a suicide. I always have been, but
If it turns out to be that, it's not going to be
right. But
it's not that you're. In other words, it's not that you are so reluctant to believe that your father would do it that
Exactly.
you're concocting this
Right.
kind of story. Right?
it makes perfect sense that he did. You know what I mean? It kind of runs in my family and everything. But it just the way that this went down, and just to recap that in case anybody missed it. My dad was not living with us at the time. He was divorced and he had a new wife. And her brother was like one of the Willow Springs policemen. Now, the night that he killed himself, it was 2-3 in the morning, as far as I can piece together from what I've been told.
Oh, and real quick, sorry to interrupt you, but just some corrections since you brought up Willow Springs. We're talking about Willow Springs, Illinois, and I went into this whole thing last week. I had a couple things wrong. I hadn't checked into it. The guy's name, Mike Corbett, was chief of police. The murder victim was the wife of Alan Masters, like a famous attorney. So it wasn't the police chief's wife. I had that wrong. But anyways, he was involved in covering up the murder.
Very shady people. I mean, regardless.
And he was sent to the police academy by the mob in the first place. He was their inside guy. He developed that department as one where you could cover things up. So who knows how many things they got away with before they got caught for the Alan Masters thing. Exactly. So I just wanted to fucking say, because I had so much of that wrong last week. I just wanted to level that thing out. So go ahead.
And the same thing too, like where he was living was fishy, because it was like in that area where the bodies were being dumped.
Where they found that the famous victim of the lawyer's wife case, whatever, the Masters case, that was about 100 yards from where Matt's dad lived, is where they used to dump the bodies.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when he did kill himself, or whatever happened, and maybe he killed himself and they're covering up some other weird shit. I don't know, but it just seems weird.
Or maybe
she called her brother.
It could be as simple as an insurance scam, or who knows?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
It could be a number. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Who knows what reasons people would have to fuck around.
But something seems not quite right about it.
Anyways, to sum it up, though, he was on the scene. Her brother was on the scene long before emergency responders, is the story you got, right?
Yeah, and the body and weapon were moved. Any cop should know not to be touching stuff, and to hang out there for an hour before you actually make a phone call about it.
So if he was on duty back then with no cell phones, she had to call the station and say, "Hey, can I talk to whoever?"
He wasn't on duty.
Oh, he wasn't.
She just called him up at his house and was like, "Hey, come over."
Okay.
Gary killed himself.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming.
Right. Which, again, is like sometimes when people are incredibly distraught, they call a loved one before the police.
Sure.
I don't, dude. When I was in high school, my girlfriend's dad dropped over dead one morning, and she discovered him and called me before she called 911, because she was just totally panicked. You know,
like I said, some of these things, they could be totally normal and just kind of seem weird or be a coincidence. You know, you don't know how everybody's going to react to stuff. But I just want the facts. You know, I just want to know what are the whole, hard facts about it.
And basically, we want to fund this through the listeners. We want to have people interact. It's only $100 goal. It's a really easy way to start out our attempts at funding things and crowdsourcing things for the show. So if you can get on GoFundMe and donate $1 or $2 to Matt Gear's Search for the Truth, we at the Sunday Evening Overdose would all sure appreciate that.
I sure would.
Yeah, and we'll keep you guys updated with the story, too, as it goes along.
Absolutely.
Matt has volunteered to keep us involved in that. So
I'll read all the documents right here on air.
We're gonna get. We'll probably even be able to share photocopies of them and shit and whatever.
For sure.
Yeah, whatever. We'll be very in depth with this. So throw us a couple bucks as a way of saying you're into the show and you're into the story, and we'll fucking keep you guys completely in the loop.
And it's bound to unfold in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter what happens, we're gonna learn a lot of stuff. So
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And it'll be good for me. So out of the kindness of your hearts.
All right. So anyways, people are up to date on that, I guess. We'll find out more and we'll let you know. So what is the deal with the Boston bomber thing? You're all up in arms.
I'm not up in arms. I'm just curious to know how people feel about the death penalty in this scenario, because I'm not one of those people that opposes it out 100%. I think, there probably are a very, very small percentage of people who are so guilty and are just a drag on our prison system that, we should probably put these people to death. Now, how we do it, that's another discussion altogether. But
most people would go with like the child molesters and the rapists are like, hey, just kill them because you can't seem to like change sexuality or anything like that. And if that's what they're into, then you got to get rid of them.
Right.
I honestly... I don't know how. Maybe because I don't have kids, I've never gotten that enraged. It's obviously deplorable, but it has never been one of my causes to champion. Probably when you have kids, you will understand that a lot better. But I have never presumed to be able. I think it's the basic arrogance of government that you even presume to be able to sentence someone to death or anything. I would be too afraid of that power. I'm not even sure how to answer it.
Well, I mean, but if you ask for it, and I mean, you literally say, "I'd like to be put to death." We should have that option, or if your guilt is just so blaring, then that's another thing too. But back to the Sanaya.
There is a point though too where it's like, why burden the rest of us if we do have to have jails, which by the way should be 99.99% less populated than they are.
Right.
But I mean, if we do have these fucking few crimes that we really do have to deal with, of course, there's no good answer for how do you stop people from running through the streets shooting everyone in the head if there's no legal system of some kind. I don't know, but if we really got down to it, there isn't what the fuck am I even going with this? What were you
Well,
saying?
the Tsarnaev kid, though, my question about him is just that, okay, he did this when
Where
he
was
was
I going with that?
19. I don't know. When he was 19.
I was setting that up for something.
He did this.
I'll think of it.
We'll figure it out.
He committed this crime, and yes, let's go with the assumption that he's guilty, and that this heinous act is, partially he is to blame.
Oh, I was gonna say. I know what I was gonna say. Sorry. The prison. It's a weird conversation, just because there should be so fucking many fewer prisoners than there are, to say like, oh, it's a burden on the taxpayers to house
Agreed.
these ones that should be really probably killed if you want, morally, whatever. But still, it's like it's a hard discussion because the real waste happens with the drug war and things
absolutely.
like that. So it's like, I don't know if I can even make an argument that we should kill anyone.
No, that's a good point. I kind of overlooked even,
because a lot of times people are committed of crimes that they didn't actually commit the crime. And
oh yeah, if there's any shadow of doubt, I don't think we need to put people to death. Like I said, when they would have to be like.
I think you meant a lot of people are convicted that didn't actually commit. Yeah, and also a lot of people are convicted of crimes that shouldn't be crimes.
Victimless.
There's people doing fucking 20, 30 years still from archaic drug laws from the 80s that got caught with a certain amount of weed, and it's their third strike in Nevada or something, and they're in for life. It's like there's still shit like that going on. I think a lot of those people have probably been pardoned by now.
You get a far harder sentence for crack than you do cocaine, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I know. There's less cocaine in there.
Less potent.
Yeah.
It's because black people do crack.
That's
why.
used to love
Andrea,
crack cocaine.
no, they don't.
That's what it is.
I never really liked powdered cocaine, but I had a real problem with crack cocaine. So, like,
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I like crack. I've tried it a few times.
It's fucking. I like it, but it's not good for you.
No, it's really not.
But wait, back to Tsarnaev.
Let's get into this a little bit. Yeah, let's get into
I want to know,
like it.
he's 19 when he commits this crime. Okay, now, like I said, it's a horrible thing, but when you're 19, you do a lot of dumbass shit, and you can be convinced that a lot, something is good. The science has proven your brains aren't even fully formed yet.
Dude, I did shit when I was 18 that made no sense. Shit I could have gone to jail for 10 years. I mean,
so killing him for this, I mean, all right, once again, terrible crime. But, like, he's only 21. Dude, he's a kid.
Okay.
He's a kid.
Now we have to get into the fact that if, some of the listeners of our show are going to be saying, hey, fucking retards, this guy didn't even do it. He's a patsy.
I'm just going on the assumption that he did.
Yeah, so if we say that, fine. Now that's that. But, Andrea, were you finding some stuff out about this case before the show? Because I know there's a lot of weird shit that we were talking about.
There's a lot of
First
weird
of all,
stuff.
what's the guy that's on trial is the one they found in the boat?
Yes.
And what was the circumstances of how they found him? Because it's just been so long.
He had... Let's see. I had an article.
His brother had been killed like the day before.
Yeah, his brother was already dead, and he was on the run. And
see, that's a typical red flag of a patsy cover-up. Is they're investigating, they kill the suspect, and then
one of the people they question
declare him guilty post-mortem. I mean, that's just your classic scenario. That's what happens with a government cover-up. But go ahead.
It started with a shootout involving he and his brother. They had been on the run. They were found by the police in some way. I'm not sure how, but there was a shootout which ended up with his brother being killed, and he ran away on foot, and then he was gone for an entire day before they found him in that boat. They had 1,000 officers looking for him.
Right, and like we were talking about, a lot of people
going
say
door to door, and
this is a way to like condition the public,
right?
For that whole scene. Hey, if we don't do it,
he could be anywhere. We have to look in your house.
Right, it's for your safety.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have something to hide?
The whole thing is a little too perfect, and they find him in someone's backyard and whatever, and it's like, I don't know, the whole thing is just is a little too theatrically perfectly cooked for my liking.
Yeah, and then later on, so during their initial run from the police, they had carjacked somebody before the firefight, which killed the brother. And apparently, like a little bit later on, that it was a taxi driver that they had carjacked to get away. And later on, the taxi driver said that one of the guys admitted to him that they had done that. It was them. They were like, "Oh, we did the Boston bombing. We need your car."
Yeah, yeah.
That's how shit happens. What was the guys that did the shooting at the Charlie Hebdo building? Didn't they leave their wallet in the fucking taxi when they were running away or something? It's like, I mean,
they're both of their ID cards.
Yeah, what?
Oh, no, it was a mosquito.
Oh, I thought you were waving at me.
I lost my wallet.
Swiping at a bug. Yeah.
Just like,
no, because you definitely bring your fucking government ID with you to commit mass murder. You know, you want to have that, and
just
you want to
case.
Yeah, and you want.
What if you get stopped? You might need it.
Yeah.
Come closer on your mic. If
you don't. You might
right
get waylaid if you don't have your ID on you and you're stopped.
I'd take the risk. Because if you're one of those guys too, you probably have some cool spy tricks. You're in like some stupid French police station where the cops suck, and they chain you with some old timey thin handcuffs, and you're able to work out of them and strangle them while they're doing like paperwork with a Rolodesk at their old French desk. That's what I think. Things in France, they have a rotary dial phone on the desk, and they're just drinking cappuccino and smoking and
just all the time
with stacks of paper everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's the French police station.
Everybody's got
every
a skinny
French police
mustache.
station.
The French police station.
So
yeah, well, it's the classic. I mean, all terrorists know to safely eject their passport out the window of the plane before they fly it into the side of the building.
Anytime, yeah. I mean, it's just you got to look for these common threads in all these cases that are a little weird, and the biggest things is when you can spot a cover up. And we haven't researched this a lot. This isn't one that I really dug into, but like some of the earmarks are there. The the way when you see code words and memes spring up in media immediately, and this was one of them where every station started using the same phrases and started reporting the same things right away. Granted, they're going to have only limited sources right in the hour or two after the event, but still, you can just spot like a media agenda. As soon as you see one.
That's Goebbels like 101 from World War II. It's just repeat, and then it becomes reality.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's really easy to convince people something's really happening if you just keep bombarding them with this, like, oh, this is real, this is real, this is real. Finally, they're like, oh, I guess that's real.
That is...
Doesn't matter how ludicrous the idea is. It's just it'll eventually become common knowledge. Like, well, that's real. Everybody knows.
Well, I mean, and that's... Yeah, when enough people share a perception or an idea...
A plane crashed into the Pentagon.
It does make it real.
Even though there was no plane and nobody saw it.
So what else about this fucking case was bugging you, Matt? You said you were following it pretty closely.
I mean, like I said, I just wanted to go on the assumption though that he is guilty, because that was like a big other thing, is like, is he even the kid? But they found him guilty on all 30 counts that he was being charged with.
Well, he pled guilty,
and he pled guilty. So, like, whatever, let's just assume he's guilty then, fine. Okay, there's no cover-up. I'm just totally paranoid. But he's still just a 21-year-old kid. Do we need life in prison's bad enough. He's 21.
He's probably just trying to get some pussy.
But I think, and also, like, the media has drummed this up to where, people want blood.
Oh, yeah, this is about revenge, not justice.
And it fulfills, like, the part of the brain that wants a public sacrifice. And
like I said earlier, how the fuck could he get a fair trial in Boston, practically right where this, crime was committed?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I remember. Right after that happened, there was some fucking hockey game. What would it be? Who's in Boston or around there?
It was a baseball game.
Was it a baseball game with the national anthem thing? I could have sworn it was a hockey game. Okay. So whatever it was, anyways, there's a fucking sports game, and it was probably a baseball game, Red Sox or whatever, and the whole crowd, like right after the bombing, stood up and sang the national anthem, and the media then pushed this as like, Boston, the city that doesn't give up, standing strong and showing the terrorists they mean business. Oh yeah,
propaganda.
And even like people that I knew who were intelligent are like, oh, did you see that? That was fucking strong. That was and I'm like, okay, and then what did they do? Sit down and watch grown men run around in tights? All right, cool.
Well, back to the Charlie Hebdo thing. All the press was like, oh, yeah, we're Charlie Hebdo too. And we're like, bullshit. None of them have the balls to do anything that would offend anybody.
Who?
Our American press or the Canadian press or any of these presses that stood along that magazine afterwards and were like, oh, yeah, we're Charlie Hebdo too, because Charlie Hebdo, now, I don't know much about it.
Because we'll cash in on this now.
Right, but like, I do know that they're their cartoons
lot
have
of weird
offended
shit.
a lot of people throughout the years.
Right.
No American publication is willing to offend anybody. They've got corporate interests that they've got to look
Well,
out for. They
it's
could
not
never
even-
be like, hey, fuck you, Muslims. I would love to see that happen in America, but it won't.
Well, people have tried though. There was
there's
the
no
big
freedom.
controversy with South Park. You know, they gave it a shot. And I mean,
I remember
that's-
that was a controversy too.
Yeah, right. And they wanted to do the same thing. They wanted to show Muhammad probably in some sort of fucking hilarious scene. It probably would have been fucking hysterical, but
You know,
it ended up chopped up and censored to the point because there were so many threats. You know, they'll kowtow to a small vocal minority every time.
Last year,
When
Facebook
large
took my
corporations are
painting
involved.
of Jesus and Muhammad fucking down. They took that
Did
down.
they really?
Yeah, I can't have that on Facebook. I got a message from them and everything.
You're not afraid of
Wow.
Muslim retaliation,
No.
but you know,
It was a picture of Jesus getting banged up the ass by Muhammad.
okay. I
Well,
mean,
a guy in a turban. I don't know what fucking Muhammad looks like.
I don't think anyone does.
did
Facebook's
you
a
call him
Christian
Mohammed?
website.
Well, yeah, it had a word bubble that was like, you know, I think it said "Rock Me, Mohammed."
I think the thing about it is like if you put
was on
put the
cardboard.
title on an image.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that he actually looks like anything. I think it's just saying here's this image and it represents him.
I just
But
drew
you
a
know,
bearded turban guy.
There's and I own a DVD that is an early episode of Mr. Show that has an image of Muhammad on it. It's a cartoon drawing, and they call him Muhammad, and he
Yeah.
like flies through the screen.
I've got that. I forgot about that. Yeah, I've got that
That's,
too.
Crazy religious beliefs.
Did they
call
edit?
it.
Did they edit that out later?
I don't know. I haven't seen a recent version of
No,
it.
probably not.
Probably not though, because nobody knows about it.
It never got big enough.
Yeah.
But no, that is the. I mean, I think people do try, and you know, like I said, the corporations will just bend to any small vocal fucking group because they don't get letters all day long about how much people like shows. They
Right.
Yeah.
they get letters when something shitty happens,
Right.
and you know, people that laugh all week long while other things get made fun of, then their thing comes up, and they can't stand it, and you know that's how fucking art gets stifled. in
It's
this
a war
country.
on Christianity, didn't you know?
Yeah.
I know I'm actively out bashing Christians at every chance I get.
I don't see any. Yeah, I don't know. There is. I mean, there's a war on everything. Like we've said before, everyone can make a case that there's a war on their thing. You know, if you want to make it seem that way. Meanwhile, you go outside, birds are chirping, you call your friends, you get some coffee, everyone's walking around having a fairly decent time. But anyone can go home and get on their computer and fear themselves into fucking
Right.
feeling persecuted. Yeah, literally anyone. You know, I mean, no matter what you're into.
Yeah, spend a little time on any YouTube comment thread.
Yeah.
And you'll feel bad about yourself just in some way.
Or just feel like there's a war on your culture,
Yeah.
whatever that may be, you know, and everyone's probably justified too,
Yeah.
because everything's just gone to shit.
Yeah.
My favorite new term is cultural misappropriation.
What does that mean, Matt?
It's Kanye West, I believe, came up with it.
Okay,
It
Go
was
on.
it was in reference to a Canadian rapper girl who, in some of her music, speaks with what would sound like a black person from Brooklyn's kind of a slang, and and he says that this
now
is
she
cultural.
would definitely be the first person to ever adopt like an
Oh,
affectation while
yeah.
they rap. Yeah, I mean,
And-
that's-
No one's ever done that.
and
that's
here's
not
what I
part of
say,
hip-hop
right?
or anything, right?
You see what I'm wearing right now, like clothing wise.
Yes.
Is this not the shit that Kanye West is like right now pushing with his fucking clothing line?
I have no
made
idea.
all these clothes last year. He's fucking ripping me off. So once again, cultural misappropriation. Stop ripping off white old goth guys,
Stupid Kanye.
you know, and calling it rap
Little
clothes. You know, no, you're seeing me walking around. You know, a couple years ago, guys like that would have wanted to fight me over wearing girls' cotton leggings with combat boots and shit. They'd be like, "Oh, you're a girl." Now that's what these motherfuckers wear.
Yeah.
That rubs me wrong. That's cultural misappropriation. Stop misappropriating my gothic culture.
All right.
Who is now? A Canadian rapper? You said he said
I
that
think
about?
she's. Yeah, I think
Do you
she's
think
Canadian.
he has a problem with her being Canadian? Because there's plenty of white American rappers that he never bothered to talk shit about.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, what's the tornado update?
As far as I know, the tornado is no longer headed towards us.
Good.
It's a little windy out though.
I mean, it could change. We're experiencing supercells right now.
Yeah, a little breeze picks up, it can carry if a little breeze picks up, it can push a tornado.
Yeah.
way out of its original path.
Yeah, way off its path.
It's amazing how
it
wind
happens all
works.
the time.
It's really weird.
Do you guys believe in the weather machine? The HARP?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was that treaty signed in the early 70s. Andrea, find this out. Because we want to find out what it was. I think it was the early 70s. There was a treaty signed by a whole bunch of countries, like 40 countries or something. It was like a 50-year treaty or something, an agreement not to use weather weapons.
Right. It's like we didn't even know these existed.
That was a long time ago.
Right, but
that
I've
was more
heard-
than 40 years ago. So I think there's definitely something to that.
Right.
And I think that speaking of Muhammad and images thereof, that was one of the original proposed uses that came out, was like, hey, this could be an amazing weapon in religious warfare and could literally scare millions of Muslims into submission, you know, if we are able to project the right images in the sky and shit. I mean, that was like 15 years ago they were talking about that. So yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I've only recently started to like delve into it.
HARP.
It sounded very fictional to me, to be honest, anytime I heard about it previously in life.
I tried to get into the HARP facility.
Right. But
I've been a governor, a Navy SEAL.
that's exactly how it all starts.
Who do I have to be to get in this place?
Well, there's a lot of like small experiments that are clearly leading towards more massive weather controlling, but they all kind of cut off after a little while, which kind of seems like maybe they took all these little tiny seed projects and combined them into one giant secret thing.
Yeah, well, there's all kind. I mean, what about sky swirls? You've seen that, right? Put up some sky swirls for people to look at, because everybody was saying that was HARP. Have you guys seen what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you mean.
I think that you want to find the Norway ones are the best, but there was a phenomenon a few years ago that a bunch of people all over the world caught these like portals opening up in the sky.
Yeah.
And, you know, they very rarely got picked up by media, but a few times
Hey, something strange in the sky over Turkey. What is it? We'll tell you after 7.
and then they have some fucking hack scientist on, like, well, you see, when refracted light passes through, and it's like, shut up.
Whoa.
Yeah, so people were catching these all over the world. We're checking out some sky swirls.
I'll put a link up on the page in a
Hey,
minute.
we
for you
can't
guys.
see him over here.
No, that's monitor up there.
Oh, okay.
So they'll get really good. There's ones in the daytime too that are like green and fucking swirling around and stuff.
That's crazy.
So people were catching these like vortex, you know, things
Yeah.
all over the place.
I absolutely don't think it's out of reach for current science to be able to create, to manipulate actual weather
holographic
on a
image.
large, on
Is
a
that
large
not
scale.
though what the
Even-
original
no,
G.I.
just-
Joe movie was about? Oh, sorry.
Was it?
I'll have to look that up. I don't know.
The cartoon movie, you know.
Did you get the weather treaty?
Yeah, I was looking at it, but then I got this video.
What's it called?
Hold on, it's a long article.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Go back to the sky
what do you
squirrel.
want me to do?
Look at that!
That's a.
Yeah,
Doesn't look like a picture.
that was crazy.
Of course, it was in Russian news.
Yeah.
They don't censor their shit like we do.
The Russians are kind of just like, yeah, we got UFOs,
Right.
we got
Weird
you
shit
know,
happens.
they're like, and it rarely comes out in American media. Once in a while, you'll see a post like Russians admit like contact with whatever. It's
Right.
like they've always been pretty open, you know, way more so than here,
Like, nah, what's the secret?
despite their reputation, you know.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, no, it is fucking silly at this point.
Stop being a pussy, and we all know.
It is silly to act like they're not investigating it.
You know, my friend Morgan, who was here, she's in love with Putin.
Oh, really?
Oh man,
Putin's hilarious.
she totally wants to bang Putin.
Why?
She just thinks he's super hot and evil. She's got a thing for evil. You
Girls
know,
love evil.
they do.
What's
and
the name of this
power.
treaty?
I can't find the specific one you're talking about. This article is just a compilation of lots of legislation that's been put into place to control weather controlling devices.
The fact
So
that even
there's
Like what?
exists.
Well, like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's my point. Let's see. In 1967, under Project Popeye, cloud seeding techniques were used, where they actually grew clouds during the Vietnam War, like in the sky.
For
And-
what?
I guess
They don't say like.
just to see. Let's see. The objective of which was to
Okay,
prolong
environmental-
the monsoon
hold on.
season.
Environmental Modification Convention. This is an international treaty prohibiting the military or other hostile use of environmental modification techniques having widespread, long-lasting, or severe effects. It opened for signature on the 18th of May, 1977 in Geneva and entered into force on the 5th of October, 1978. So again, that's a treaty prohibiting the military or other hostile use of environmental modification techniques having widespread, long-lasting, or severe effects. So that doesn't prevent anyone from testing, from doing small experiments. It sounds like.
Yeah.
The convention bans weather warfare, use of weather modification techniques for the purposes of inducing damage or destruction. The Convention on Biological Diversity of 2010 would also ban some forms of weather modification or geoengineering.
Now, but if they develop the technology and they're able to use it subtly and it can't be proven, do you know, I learned a long time ago about geographical warfare, which is how the poorest neighborhoods are usually located in the most dangerous geographical area.
Of course. Well, in for example, the big one in the past 10 years was Katrina.
Lower Ninth Ward,
and
yeah.
it was it's very demonstrable down south. It's very easy to see. There's it's lower land is where all the poor people are.
Right. Exactly.
And then they let it fucking get taken out, buy it up for dirt cheap, and then build really nice condos there and put in better pumps and protection for rich people. And that's called gentrification. But the first step to gentrification, always remember, is to drive down the property in the first place.
Right.
People forget that. But go ahead.
So I will point out, they also manufactured a reason to not repair the levees, which broke as a result. Then that reason was to fund the war in Iraq.
Ooh.
Yeah. Also, all of their high water vehicles were deployed to the desert during that time as well. So
a lot of water in the desert.
We don't have to get all into the whole Katrina thing, but if they could manipulate the weather slowly and over time and make more intense happenings seem more normal, then who could even prove that they're using a device to manipulate the weather and wage war on the part of the population that they wish to cull?
Right, they could just be like, it's climate change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that could be part of the whole thing. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously there's something. We've talked on the show before about how none of us are really one way or the other as far as like the typical left-right battle on climate change. I would just like to know more and exactly what the fuck is affecting it and what isn't, and
I'm willing to accept
no. I mean, it's not that there is no change. I'm just talking about the classic like left-right argument on the topic. It's not like any of us really take those viewpoints. I don't think. Do you? I mean, does anyone?
No.
But I would definitely like to know more. It's one of those things I just have never felt like I understood really all that well. But yeah, I mean, let's see. This goes into it bans herbicides in warfare. Blah blah blah. So yeah. I mean, just the fact that it exists is fucking creepy.
Yeah, super creepy.
Environmental modification.
And I do believe that is the plot of what Cobra is doing in the original G.I. Joe cartoon movie.
Dude, there's a ton of
It's about a weather machine. Yeah, I'm like, I could swear that's what that movie's about.
There's a ton of evil villains throughout our history here that are weather changing villains, that want to come in and freeze the earth or rotate it and send it far away or do some weird shit. Yeah, there's all kinds of that shit. That's a really common theme. So yeah, I mean, could be some truth in there. What do you think, Andrea?
Yeah, I definitely think there could be some truth in there.
What about the trails that planes leave?
Yeah, the chemtrails.
What's with that?
Well, that's some. Isn't there? I think there's official documents on it that it's a geoengineering project itself to put like aluminum and barium to supposedly reflect back UV rays or something. That's like the official explanation or whatever. But yeah, I actually know a little bit about it. But again, you don't remember there being so many like trails in the sky when you were a kid?
No, that's exactly, and just in
they
recent
would
years,
be there sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah. But it wasn't 8 of them that would cross each other and then slowly expand across the sky and then end up dissipating into like thin like cumulus clouds all over the place. And like,
a regular plane, it goes and it dissipates very quickly.
Right.
Like they're like, oh no, that's every plane does that. That's from the jets. No, it's not. Like,
I think it's all been put out there that it's like kerosene in the fuel, and that's where the additives are added in the kerosene. And Andrea can maybe check on this, but I'm pretty sure that's all been out there for people who want to find out.
Who gives them the okay to do this kind of stuff is what I always wonder. Like, who gave you the right to do that?
Well, we do, because we don't fucking stand up and do anything about
it.
Right?
It's like the government don't own the sky too. Like we didn't okay that. Like
we did sort of by consent. We are just a giant country of pussies.
Right. Of sheeple.
There's also that too.
Sheeple.
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
Andrea, is there any of this shit that's been put out there for officially or as an explanation or anything?
Well, I mean, the official explanations I'm finding are the water vapor. It's frozen water vapor from being up in the atmosphere so high. So no, I haven't found anything about there actually being chemicals in there, except for the chemicals that may be released from the jets as a result of the water vapor being pulled through the engines.
Yeah, so what I used to read about that was there was the main like harmful things that were in them were aluminum and barium, and I know that there were definitely some studies done that found rising aluminum contents in soil around the country.
Yeah, I do remember reading about that stuff. There's one guy in particular who did
and barium, I think, in the air, and they're both really bad. Aluminum, obviously, if it can cross the blood-brain barrier, can do a shitload of damage to your brain. Fluoride will help aluminum get through the blood-brain barrier, because fluoride will pass through and attach to aluminum. It's a fucking strange little fact, but
hey, since I cut fluoride out of my life, I dream much more vividly.
Oh, dude, it's an amazing transition. This house is unfluoridated, and when I got here, after 3 or 4 months, I just noticed like things clearing up. I also started doing like fish oil and a bunch of other like supplements for brain health and shit like that. But yeah, fluoride is a huge one. Corn syrup, any like anything weird that's gonna fuck. Excitotoxins are huge, artificial sweeteners and all that. But yeah, I mean, the aluminum and fluoride connection is big, and the barium thing, I guess, is, if I remember right, it competes with potassium to like deregulate your central nervous system, basically. Yeah, and somehow, so you want to take potassium supplements if you buy that, I guess. But what are you getting over there?
I'm just trying to find evidence of the aluminum rising in soil.
Nah, whatever. I remember it. It happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about chemtrails. I don't know what they're really doing.
But are we all in agreement that it didn't used to look like that?
I honestly don't remember.
No? What does our audience think? What do you guys... Do you have any opinion on this? Don't remember? I remember seeing planes leave trails in the sky as a kid, and I remember them dissipating afterwards.
Yeah, I remember them disappearing.
And I used to be really fascinated, because you would look, and for whatever reason, I have memories that stick out, because I wanted to, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a skywriter, and so I used to get really excited when I would see a trail, and I would think, oh, cool, a skywriter, and then I would think, oh, it's just going away, that sucks. So I remember they all used to go away.
Even in cartoons, they fade away when they are skywriters. The message goes up.
They're not skywriters,
and then it slowly fades. Like, what the fuck?
Is skywriting even a thing anymore?
Yeah,
it
you
is.
said that like there was even a chance that you would look up and see a skywriter. I don't think I've ever seen a skywriter in my life, except on a cartoon.
Yeah,
I think
I
must have just watched too many Looney Tunes, and that was like what I expected to happen when a trail started coming out of a plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm saying that I'm about 99.99% sure that these trails are much different than what used to happen when we were kids.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember seeing planes that had a trail that just went away, but I still see some planes that have a trail that just goes away. So it's hard for me to...
Everything looks different when you're a little kid, so it's hard to say.
That's true.
I guess that's true, too.
Right. Everything was more like fantastical through the eyes of a child.
Yeah, like a trail behind a plane is not going to captivate your attention nowadays.
What about those sky swirls then? What the fuck you gotta say about that?
Well, that
Yeah.
shit is just like
That's
Put more of those
clearly
up.
something. All right.
Yeah, what the hell is that? So
Those didn't even look real.
going
Yeah,
back to
video
Harp,
I
since
saw.
you posed the question originally, what do you think? You definitely think that they're fucking around. Huh?
yeah. Well, I had heard that like recently. I just like I said, just started kind of reading some of the theories about it and stuff, and something that I saw in a documentary said that was like used against the people in Katrina. Like most recently,
A
in
lot
Katrina.
of people thought that storm was extremely strange because it turned right at the last second, and
Right.
no storm had ever come up the mouth of the Mississippi like that. There's a lot of fucking weather conditions that have to be perfect.
That's
for it
exactly
to
what
take
this
that.
documentary
Yeah,
said.
yeah. That's what a lot of, because I used to live down there, and that's what a lot of people down there will tell you. You know,
Like they assisted the storm with maybe a machine or
probably more or less, yeah, or created it. Who knows
Created
what their
it completely?
capabilities are?
Wipe out
True,
the
yeah.
poor.
43 years ago, they're making 38 years ago, they're making treaties about weather weapons. Oh, Jesus Christ, who the fuck knows what they can do?
Right. Now, if those people had been rioting, they would have had all the fucking shit down there. But when they needed help, they were just fucked and on their own.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that was disgusting.
Right.
There was no way. There's, and it still has never been justified to this day. It was a complete. There was an effort made to make that disaster as horrible as they could.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah,
They
definitely.
FEMA took days to respond, literally days to get out there and start helping people.
Right. We do better in foreign countries.
Yeah. That's we're still looking at sky swirls over here.
Yeah, that one just looks like a meteor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a comet.
Yeah, look up. Did you look up Norway?
Yeah, these are
Those are the
all
Norway ones?
supposedly from Norway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh,
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Last week we were talking about like stuff about aliens and whatnot, and I forgot to bring up in photography because remember that person being possessed thing.
Oh yeah, we
There
watched
is-
a good possession video last week.
I'm still skeptical, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
it was pretty fucking creepy looking though, wasn't it?
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
definitely it's got a vibe.
And it has that. It puts the hairs on the back of your neck. Plus, remember we pointed out everyone in the store was absolutely
Right.
terrified of the guy
Right.
while it was going on. Some surveillance footage from a store of a guy freaking out and having like what almost looks like a seizure at first, but then just goes into these weird like devilish like rolling around weird things, and then a bunch of stuff
pulling at his clothes.
and then
yeah.
there's like he's scaring the shit out of everybody, and then a bunch of stuff just flies off a shelf like for no apparent reason. It's a pretty cool video.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Nobody's debunked it yet,
But there's a photo from like I want to say the 60s or 70s where before they could have even faked it, and the Kodak people themselves put out like a big reward if anybody could prove how this was done.
the Spaceman one.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's fucked up.
Guy took a picture of his daughter in the park,
Like a sequence.
and it was like a Kodak like instant develop thing, sort of like a Polaroid or something, right? Or
I don't
no,
know
they
about
developed
that,
it
but
at the store. That's
yeah,
right.
but I know that it was he's got like it was the kind of camera where you could hold down and it would take a sequence of photos.
That's right. Okay, so one of the pictures came up with what you would. It looks like Neil Armstrong. It looks
Right.
like a fucking guy in a spacesuit hovering over the daughter in this park. Put that picture up. This big.
Yeah, and it's like
we'll take a look at it.
just for a
People
split
can probably
second.
find it just like the if you look at like mysterious spaceman
Time traveler.
daughter
I said-
photo.
mystery picture spaceman.
That's
yeah.
what found it. Look.
So
it's
look how
everywhere.
stupid it looks, and it looks like, but it was studied. Look how dumb that is.
Right.
It was studied extensively and never proven to be a fake.
Right. So is that like a time traveling alien? Were they in another dimension?
That's a weird one. I
What's
think
going on there?
Since my perception of it has always been that since what year was it again? By the way,
Well,
Let me
Well,
find
it's like
out.
a
find out
space
because
helmet.
it almost looks like a balloon or a toy of some kind that another kid might have been running past with.
But
or
even if
something,
that
you know?
happened, it would be in other sequences. It's only in this
It's
one
very strange,
frame.
but dude, photographs are weird. You get once in a while get something timed perfectly that you're like, "Whoa, why were you holding
Yeah.
an 8-foot long shoe?" And it was like, "No, I threw that at the camera, and it just
I don't know.
You
a
know,
lot of people have pined over this, and I have to say, if it was anything like that, they would have gone, well, it turns out it was just this, or this kid ran by with that. That looks like a fucking spaceman in
But
a
what's he
spacesuit.
doing? How's a spaceman just landing in the park?
I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
the
With no-
imagination.
with
Because
no-
if you showed me that at first, I don't think I would have thought spaceman. I don't
Well,
know.
we're sitting kind of
He
far
kinda
back.
looks-
You're
he-
sitting kind of far back, yeah.
He kind of looks like he's wearing a fencing outfit.
Yeah, that's totally.
You know, he's got like the mask
I
and the
took
white
fencing.
suit. This was 1964 also.
Oh, okay. So there probably wouldn't have been astronauts were probably
Photoshop.
not as popular yet then since they hadn't been to the moon.
Right.
Yeah, could be a fencing guy.
But how would a fencing guy appear there for just 1 second, not to be seen by anyone else until these photos are developed in that one split second?
It's still kind of weird, but it's also just based on somebody's word. You know, they could have staged that it was a sequence of photos.
I like I said, this has been around for so long and
This
it's
is
been
listed,
so pined over.
This is on a lot of short lists of like most mysterious photos of all time. This is I see this one a lot. Yeah.
Me too. I've seen this one a lot.
Like I have no explanation for it. Like I don't claim to know what that is either, but I don't think it's anything as simple as just like, you know, camera mistake or something that could be explained like that. I think experts would have been like already like, well, this is just that. Everybody's like, gee, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, I could never find that it was debunked. But there's a shitload of those. I've got weird photos. Strange photos.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody does.
Nothing paranormal, just, you know, me in various outfits and
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
situations.
I've got some strange photos.
Some very strange photos if any of you are interested. You know. No, but shit happens with photos. Like I was saying, the giant shoe. Somebody took a picture of me in a hotel one time, and I happened to have thrown a shoe at them. And then when the picture came out, it literally you could not tell that I wasn't holding a giant shoe in my hand. You know, it looked perfect. I mean, shit happens with photographs.
Oh, yeah.
So
True.
I don't know.
I do like that example though.
What, the shoe?
No, the photo of the spaceman is like the unsolvable, like, what is that photo? And there's been recent stuff.
I also like it because it looks so stupid, and the second you see it, you're like, oh, this must have been fake, you know, like,
Right.
but
Well,
nobody's been able to prove it.
I was expecting one of those like typical like shadow looks like a ghost, but it could just be a mark or a shadow on the photo. You know what I'm? People say it's ghosts,
but this is way more clear of an image.
It looks like something. It has to be something.
Yeah.
Right, that is a solid object.
Unless, like, all right, I don't know. What if that's like the tip of a cloud and there's something like that's a ball in the air
For just that
and it
second.
looks like it's above the cloud.
I'm not buying it.
A cloud with an elbow.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I certainly, it's definitely something is there for that split second that photo was taken.
That girl looks kind of fucking possessed.
It was the
Yeah,
70s.
maybe
Everybody
it's
was.
just a photo of the demon that's possessing her.
Again, like
be.
many of the photos we see of supposed like ghosts with children, the children are always the creepiest part of the photo.
Well, they got to
Always.
attract the
I
ghost,
guarantee
you know?
Kids always
Yeah.
some fucking creep show.
That's what they
That's
say.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, how often are children directly connected to like photokinetic phenomenon and like you know, poltergeist and whatever fucking whatever paranormal stuff tends to be
Always.
like
easy prey.
psychokinetic projection and shit. Like that's, I mean, maybe something to be said for creepy kids and creepy ghost kid photographs going hand in hand naturally.
You should show them that footage of the guy getting possessed. I'd love to hear other people's take on that.
We could maybe do that again, right?
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
Do that again. We are going to take a very quick break. We got to take some pisses, smoke some smokes. We will be back on our Thursday show in just a couple minutes. Please stick with us.
Yeah.
We're ready.
All right, we're back on
We're
the
back.
Thursday evening overdose.
We're back and we're ready.
Whoever that is listening, you're a hell of a listener. Hey, slow night here on the overdose.
Good on you.
By the way, we are going to start. I haven't even told you guys this. What's going to start happening around here is we're going to make the slow transition to being called the Overdose Talk Network. All right? We're going to be branching out to some other shows. You know about this.
You never told me about this.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you did.
Oh, that's a great joke.
No, but I didn't know that you chose a name.
Listen, we're gonna eventually be changing the name of the show. We're gonna be doing some things. We're gonna switch to the show just being called The Overdose, and the network gonna be called the Overdose Talk Network, and we're gonna get 2 or 3 other shows going on here. think we're gonna have a show about like some nerdy shit. Like some people want to do a Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing. I was like, all right, I'll come in and hose you guys down when you're done.
I
Whatever.
would get in on that. Dude, Dungeons and Dragons is awesome.
And no, they're gonna. Some people want to do a nerd show. We're gonna do that. We got a show called The Expansion Project. Hopefully that my friend Tom is gonna put together. Although he's being a procrastinating asshole, and we got a couple other things in the works. Some mind expanding programming on the way on the Overdose network.
How long does the show have to be?
It can be anything you want. I mean, you could if you want to do a show every week, I'll produce it for you.
I would love to do like a Joe Frank style, like radio experimentation stuff. You familiar with Joe Frank?
No, not at all.
I don't know how to explain what he does. He kind of like he writes weird stories and he just kind of reads them on air. Yeah. I love Joe
NPR
Frank.
guy?
Yeah, he's on Saturday nights. Sunday nights.
There's
Sunday
very
nights.
fucking little left on NPR worth listening to. I gave up on it a long time ago.
I listen to the show every Sunday too.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was anything good on there right now. Actually,
Sunday nights are the best.
What kind of stuff is it?
Well, the show is Harry Shearer's show, and it's pretty much what we do.
Oh, okay.
But it's just Harry Shearer, and then Joe Frank comes on after him, and Joe Frank is just like experimental radio like stuff. And what I'd like to do is just kind of read some of my writings and my poems and stuff.
Dude, I'll produce. Here's the deal for anybody listening too. If you're in the area and you want to do a show, I want to expand as a network. There will be no sports shows and there will be no left-right politics. But anything interesting, mind-expanding, artistic, I'm on board. I'm ready to do it.
I wrote a bunch of short horror stories I'd love to read.
If you want to put together, so we'll go through this process with you. I'll tell you what I want from anybody who wants to do a show. Solid concept, a length, and a frequency that you want to do it. I want to do it once a month, every other week, whatever you want to do. I don't care, but just stick to it. And then, a name and a paragraph description, and then fucking go. Just start working it out.
I'll get all that together. That won't take long.
Yeah, that's all you need for a show on the Overdose Talk Network, which is what we're gonna go with. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna try to expand. I mean, this is one of my biggest passions in life right now, is the fact that most people have either talked themselves out of or don't see a clear path to success artistically or with any kind of expression, and I'd like to get some real networking going.
Well, it's not the 80s anymore. Yeah, like where somebody's going to discover you and make you famous. Like you really just there's such an oversaturation of talent.
And we're in a period where it takes an immense amount of work, a ton of work to be successful at this, but it also takes smart networking, positive thinking, and the will to work together with a common goal, even if it's just like, let's get a network going. Not that we all have to agree on every little fucking thing, but it's and that, whatever. That's my thing right now. Let's avoid trying to worry about sponsors, avoid trying to fucking do things the mainstream way. Agreed. And go with this new internet talk formula and try to make it work for us. Yeah. If you want to get in touch with us, 630-599-RUBS. 630-599-RUBS. Got an idea about a show? Got any ideas about anything? Sunday evening overdose at gmail.com. Send us an email. Get in touch.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We're Instagramming a lot more. You'll find
we're doing a lot more with all our stupid social networking bullshit. So everybody has a thing they like. So we have to cover them all. Yeah. We have to do fucking Twitter, which I hate. I never like Twitter.
No, I hate Twitter.
We have to do that. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. You put us in your
Tumblr,
Google Plus circle.
If I get that sex doll, I'll do a Tumblr.
All right, we'll do Tumblr. Fucking, I hate this. All right, what's going on with this possession video? We want to show it to our in studio guests.
Yeah, we did cover this on the Sunday show.
So fuck it, let's play it again.
All right, here we go. So this guy's standing in looks like a little convenience store or a supermarket. It doesn't look like a very big store. It's just a surveillance video from this guy.
Just got the guy with the visor? Or? Oh, this guy right here. Okay.
This guy, he's walking up to a cooler. Looks totally normal, dressed in like basketball shorts. Oh.
The part that looks the wonkiest, though, I still think is the end where the spirits or whatever kind of rise up and you can see it in the glass. It almost looks like it cuts.
So now he starts fucking twitching around a lot. The audio is good.
Yeah.
A lot of yipping. Yeah, that lady's like, fuck this.
The people are fucking terrified. He's on the ground pointing at her like that monkey in Family Guy.
Yeah.
The fucking monkey that comes out of Chris's closet. He points at that lady. She runs away. Now he's about to collapse. And if you look on the left, you'll see a reflection in the glass right there. Some weird spirit rise up and watch. Boom. Shit flies off the shelf. If that's a real video, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting and definitely creepy. If it's
Andrea,
staged, it still looks creepy.
Do a
as fuck.
debunking check, because now it's been a couple weeks since that came out. Do a debunking check on that real quick while we get into the next thing.
At the very least, a really cool little slice of horror, you know, like if somebody made that, like, hey, it looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, it is pretty convincing either way. It really is.
A Girl Walks Home Alone, by the way, is now playing in Chicago here, I believe.
That's that trailer we watched on the show that looked fucking creepy. Was that Ukrainian or something? Or
Iranian.
It's available on iTunes.
Iranian. Why did I think Ukrainian? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's at the Music Box too.
And it's what? It's like their first
vampire film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks fucking
that shit
amazing.
looked fucking nuts. I don't even get excited about new movies ever.
But it's at the Music Box Theater right now.
Is it really?
Yeah. I just heard that today that it hit the Music Box.
Maybe we should go see it and do a review.
I would love to do that.
That shit
if I can afford to see it,
nuts.
yeah. I haven't seen a movie in a theater in years.
So anyways, Andrea, what are we at next? Remember this whole plan?
You asked me to look up the thing about the...
So what?
All right. Well, I want to talk about the holes in Siberia.
I know nothing about this, so totally, like, fill me in.
So these mysterious holes have been popping up all over Russia and Siberia and stuff. And so far they haven't been able to tell what they're from.
What's that noise?
It was coming out of my computer. So far they haven't been able to tell what they're from, but they keep saying that it's like methane being released from way deep down in the earth, and it's creating like these big, giant, gaping craters out in the tundra of Siberia.
We did this on the show like months ago. There's just these giant holes popping up in the tundra.
So the official story is that it's a methane release. However, recently, a team from the Russian Academy of Sciences.
Dude, this is like some Event Horizon shit.
Yeah,
this just happened.
This was April 4th. Okay, so researchers from the Russian Academy of Sciences was investigating one of the large craters and reported finding an unidentified object resembling a space capsule at the bottom. So they found something that appeared to be man-made or made by an intelligent whatever, described it resembling a space capsule. Then their satellite telephone from which they had called to report this finding was disconnected, and they have not been heard from since.
So they reported a space capsule.
Only in Russia.
Looking object, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they actually use that language?
Space capsule. Yeah.
Or space.
That's
Did I say space capsule?
Yeah.
Do we have a picture of
Space
that?
capsule.
Or is there like a photo of that at all?
No, there's not. Well, because they only radioed in about it, and now no one's heard from them since. So yeah, that is in quotation marks. So that's officially reported as an unidentified object resembling a space capsule.
Wow.
God damn.
Yeah, that's the Academy of Sciences. That's just not some crazy old coots out there looking for aliens. They're looking for the reason for these holes.
They were actually down there studying, and they just became the beginning of like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie. I mean, really, like,
yeah, it's
what the
thing.
fuck? Well, or they could have died, because isn't there shitloads of methane gas?
Yeah, they might all just be dead from methane. Maybe they had methane poisoning and they were hallucinating.
Because that's the thing, is like methane came out of these, right?
Right. That's the idea, that they were like a release of a very, very large pocket of methane related to the change in climate that's making things change pressure.
Okay, and surely they would have precautions against that, but I guess something could
You would
fail or
think,
whatever.
yeah.
So what are people out there saying about it? I'm sure everyone is very excited on Reddit.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I guess everyone's kind of waiting to hear what happens now. They tried to send a helicopter out there to find these people, and they couldn't find them with the helicopter, and then the helicopter got all fucked up from being out in the tundra, and it was like snowy, so then they had to abandon that mission as well.
Okay.
So
there's really no other information to go on.
No.
So everything else is going to be wild speculation.
Pretty much,
and
yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of it.
Then
So fuck it.
my wild speculation is it's probably aliens. I'm gonna go with aliens.
Well, I'm going to go to John Black out in Ypsilanti, Michigan, one of our regular callers. How do you do, Jonathan?
I do just fine.
And what have you brought to the show this evening?
Actually, I want to talk about what you're talking about.
Oh, whoa. Holy shit. A caller called about the topic that we're on right now? Holy fucking Christ. I wish I had my old sound effects bank. Imagine a crowd cheering and like the next. All right. Go ahead.
I have to agree with Andrea that it's aliens.
Finally, you say something that makes a little bit of sense.
And go on.
Okay, no, here's the thing. So the aliens have been around. We all believe in them to some extent or another. Why do I have my own echo in my ear? Can you stop?
No, it's not me.
God damn it. All right, I won't be able to hear you then. So.
Go ahead.
I think that aliens came here, checked us out, realized we wouldn't make a great slave population because we're worthless, and they just used their super technology and dug all the stuff they wanted out of a remote place we'd never noticed.
Why is your phone all echoey?
Do you have your radio on or whatever at the same time?
Through your system.
All right. So you think what again now?
I think that the aliens came here, checked us out to use as a slave population to get the minerals or whatever they wanted, realized that we wouldn't make good subjects, and decided to just do it themselves with a cool spaceship drill.
That's kind of like what Kurt Vonnegut thinks.
Yes, sir. You subscribe to the theories of Zachariah Sitchin, who claimed the Anunnaki wanted to use the human race to mine gold, because gold is a magical...
it doesn't conduct electricity the same.
Well, and they wanted to use it as fuel. Apparently, the Anunnaki use gold as fuel.
Okay.
He's talking about some very ancient alien-y stuff here.
Right.
I use tuna fish sandwiches.
So that's what you think. I remember the first time I heard that theory. It's one that, without a ton of scientific evidence, it kind of rings true to a lot of people, because it goes, hey, that would explain our obsession with precious metals if we are mining them and funneling them up to a super fucking small group of elite occultists who comes out time and time again, say and think they have contact with like alien beings and shit.
Hey.
And then, I don't know. Yeah, it fills some fucking gaps for people who are... I
think I've got something on that, actually.
Okay, fine.
I think I remember reading something where there was, like, they talked about, like, the amount of gold that the Earth contained and how much gold is on the Earth now, and it's
very
less
little.
than it used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did they? Okay. That's fucking cool, because I know that gold has been disappearing from major like hoards and stockpiles for years with no explanation. That's where a lot of this stuff
whether
gets...
it's hidden or...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just explaining how that theory is it fits in a lot of people's minds. It goes, oh wow, that would explain this and this and this. So
are you counting like when you're dead and you're buried with gold teeth in your mouth, or your wedding ring, or whatever bullshit?
No, say again what you just said, John. I want to make sure I understand it correctly too.
What I don't remember where I heard this or when, but they did an analysis of the Earth and what supposedly the Earth is supposed to be made of, like down to the nickel core. And there's a certain amount of mass of gold that the planet should have, based on like the science and looking through the stratus.
There's only like
layers
10 Olympic-sized swimming pools full of gold.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
They can't account for all of that gold because it's
so he's saying
gone.
They did some sort of like maybe a vibrational scan or something and came back with not enough gold. I'm not sure. Maybe Andrea.
Because I was gonna say
like everyone's great grandfather's buried with like a half carat in his mouth.
Well, no, but. You got to imagine that like small amounts of gold are buried and lost, and there's always going to be less in circulation through time the more we bury and lose it, and have to re-find it, and you know what I mean. So that's what I was curious to know if like also NASA does use gold, so if they shoot a satellite that has some gold in it, whatever amount of gold, you know what I mean. Yeah, we lose that gold.
Yeah.
I don't think that would.
I don't think that would account for. I mean, here's a claim that the gold bars in Fort Knox have been replaced with tungsten bars plated with gold, and that they're actually just tungsten on the inside. So, there's a lot of theories about the gold disappearing, although I can't really find any good evidence of it actually happening besides people saying, hey, this gold is disappearing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a huge topic for years. And like I said, originally it resonated with me. My girlfriend, who's part of the show sometimes, Tracy, who everybody might have heard, last week, I guess. Yeah. She is all in on the Anunnaki gold stuff. She's actually posed to me a couple of times well, I shouldn't even have said posed. I won't reform that whole sentence. She's actually expressed to me several times her fucking deep fear that when the Anunnaki get back, they're going to be mad at us for not having figured out how to extract gold from the oceans. Tracy is fucking really afraid that the Anunnaki are going to be really pissed that we didn't get that together before they get back.
And she should be. She should be, because it's her fault.
That's how deep in she is.
How does she know that we won't have it done by that time?
I don't know. It's very difficult. We were looking into it. It's extremely fucking unlikely that we're going to get it together in the next 100 years, I think.
Yeah. Well, we're fucked.
Yeah, but no, that's like she like immediately took it as truth and just ran with it. And a couple weeks later, she's like, "Are you kind of scared that they will be mad if we don't figure out?" I'm like, "No." I wasn't thinking about that at all, actually.
I am now.
Not even a little.
In 100 years, we'll be able to just walk where the oceans were and mine the gold.
And
it won't be a
problem.
Right, it won't be a problem.
No. I think there's a certain amount of gold in the water.
Oh, I'm sure.
Or something.
What if it was that easy to do? Why don't they just do it themselves?
Yeah, it's always nice to have slaves, right?
Because they dropped us off here to fucking be obsessed with gold, mine it, have it be the focus of every culture for thousands of years, and funnel it all to a fucking tiny group of elitists at the top of every society.
So they dropped us off here and made us obsessed with gold, marijuana, and pussy. And what's your point?
every animal is obsessed with sex. That's an animalistic
What do they also want, pussy
drive
and
to
marijuana?
reproduce.
Shut up. Whatever, John. Will you explain why people are obsessed with gold then throughout the history of the world? Sure, there's been a lot of alchemy and a lot of interesting things like this, but just tell me why, since the dawn of time, people have gone to the links they've gone to because it's not. Hold on a second, you faggot. It's not easy. It's not easy to get gold and shine it up and make it all pretty. It's really hard.
And it's soft. It's not a good weapon at all.
It's hard to get out of the ground too.
Ah, fuck! I just clicked on a weird thing. All right, it's really fuck. So you tell me. It's really difficult. Is my point.
Well, I think that people knew early on that they would want their speaker cables to have really good conductivity, so they'd want gold.
What about diamonds and like rare gems? Why do we just because they're pretty?
Mostly do speaker cables.
It's all for speaker cables.
It's all for
Here's what I got.
Alien speaker cables of the future.
Here's wisegeek.org. Is that reliable? Yes, it is possible to extract gold from seawater in theory, but it's really not practical to do so. It is estimated that there is, in total, about 8 million tons of gold dissolved in the world's oceans.
Wow.
See?
That sounds like it's worth it.
Now you understand why Tracy's afraid.
I'm afraid.
While this is a lot, the oceans are huge, and the actual concentration of gold in seawater is only about 0.000000006%. To put it another way, there is between 0.1 and 2.0 milligrams per ton, depending on location, making it uneconomical to extract using any current technology.
Like every bottle of Goldschlager.
Yeah, remember when kids would save their gold from the Goldschlager and be like, dude, I've had like 10 bottles of this. I got this whole vial. Like, no, that's like gold foil. No one will give you any money for it anywhere.
I remember that in high school. I was always like, dude, that's not gold. It's not really gold.
The best you can hope for is to catch a glimpse of one in the toilet. That's like the most rewarding thing you can hope for from a bottle of Jägermeister. That's funny. But go ahead.
I love Jägermeister.
John.
What do you really?
John.
What?
Comment.
What?
Comment, John.
Yeah. I'm saying. what if they do get all the gold that they want, and then they take it all, and it turns out we need the gold here for some natural purpose we don't really understand,
We
and
do
now it's
need
all
the
gone.
gold.
We do need the gold.
Why do we need
get
the gold?
rich, motherfucker.
Don't you know anything about anything?
Fucking moron.
We need the gold. They're actually using gold as a superconductor to create levitation technology.
Yeah,
So
no.
we kinda
Gold
do need the gold.
has a shitload of amazing properties, especially when you get into what gold dust, and shit like that can do. But go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just
Yeah, we might
Gold
not
is
even know the
disgusting on white
properties.
people.
What'd
It
you
looks
say?
Ugly.
I was gonna say I like silver better.
Gold does look shitty on white people.
I'm having all my
Silver
teeth
and
done in
copper
white
have copper
gold
stains.
when I get them all
Exactly.
redone.
You're right
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Like black people look awesome with gold.
Yeah,
that
no, yeah.
contrast is
Right,
fucking
yeah.
badass.
White
Yeah.
people don't look good with gold.
No,
That's a
you
fact.
can't wear
These
it.
are
No,
all
I can't
fake.
wear gold.
Silver
Yeah.
looks all right.
You know, that's when I got geeked about platinum.
White people
teeth.
look-
I'm like,
white
finally,
people-
a tooth I can get that doesn't make me look ridiculous.
White people look good in like hemp and plastic beads. That's what you see the most.
I want a blown glass tooth.
Native American jewelry.
Blown glass tooth.
Well,
No,
caps,
I don't
modern
want that.
caps are
I
made
want
of
shark
I want a
porcelain.
in
hippie
my
glass
mouth.
tooth.
They can do that.
Possible. Is that possible?
Oh yeah.
So we're pretty sure it's the aliens then in Siberia. Is that what we've all agreed on?
Yes.
It seems very likely.
And they're here to get their gold. Is that what we? Do you think?
Are there gold schick vodka?
Methane.
Yeah, that's what they want. They just came for the vodka.
All the gold schlick.
Gold nanoparticles. I'm on INNOVA biosciences.com. I guess that's a
Innova?
innovate. Innova biosciences. I don't know. Gold nanoparticles, strange properties and applications in the life sciences. They exhibit extraordinary properties quite unlike those of the bulk metal. These particles can be exploited in a variety of assay applications. Anyone know that word? What does that even mean?
Can't see it.
Assay?
ASSAY, including lateral flow test.
That's a test.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know. So yeah,
like an essay,
they're
but
talking
an
about
essay.
this is actually way more scientific than I thought it was when I first pulled it up. Like there's everything I say is going to require questions, but yeah, this is just talking about basically how when you break it down to nanoparticles, it has they're calling it here extraordinary properties that don't have anything to do with it when it's in its bulk metal form. So there's a lot of weird stuff about gold.
yeah.
Maybe it was used to levitate the pyramid bricks into place, and we don't understand how that worked now, but we've lost that technology.
Sure.
Webinar series.
Seems
Wait.
very possible.
Check this out.
Today's webinar, Gold Nanoparticles, Strange Properties and Applications in the Life Sciences, will discuss the extraordinary properties that gold nanoparticles exhibit, which are quite unlike those of the bulk material. These properties can be exploited in a variety of assay applications, including lateral flow tests, microscopy, flow
what I just
cytometry,
said.
and threat assays.
Why do I just
There are
like
also a
want to
number of
masturbate to
therapeutic
her voice?
applications, especially in the field of cancer.
Because it
This
reminds you
exciting
of
webinar will
some
focus on
cheap
the following
fucking
points.
like streaming experience with
introduction
some
to
whore
gold,
because it's just
the unique
the
properties of
terrible
nanoparticles,
quality like
why does 40
computer
nanometer
mic,
gold
you know,
never
it's
look
just
the
an
same from different
association.
suppliers, methods of attaching proteins and
That must
analytes
be
to
it.
gold.
All right,
uses
well,
of
I guess we're
nanoparticles
not
in
really going to get into
diagnostics.
this, but
No, it's really sciencey.
that's very sciencey
be honest,
for
yeah.
our
We
show.
can, David
too
Box will be
stupid.
here soon, and he knows a lot about this stuff. He's
All right,
done
we'll
a lot
maybe
of
get a little
research
bit back
on
into
colloidal
gold on
so, yeah, we
at
can
that
come back to
point.
it. He's also got some thoughts on the Anunnaki, so we'll talk to him when he gets here. But related to methane, we have NASA is about to start investigating a bizarre methane gathering in the southwest of the United States.
Are they really?
They are, yeah. They're calling it a hot spot, and it is responsible for producing the largest concentration of the greenhouse gas methane ever seen over the United States.
John Black, do you still want to be on the phone?
No, I gotta go make cumsies.
John's got to go make cumsies. All right, well, you have fun.
Cumsies.
All right, we'll see you later. Go on.
So anyway, NASA, I'm going to put this picture up for everybody to look at. See, it's right near the Four Corners intersection of Arizona,
Where it's
Colorado,
all
New
purple?
Mexico, and Utah. It's where it's this orange spot in the southwest.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see it
That's
before.
that's the highest concentration of methane in the history of the country.
That's pretty big.
And they have no idea why it's there?
No idea. Not one idea.
And so that's our connection to the Russian thing. Could be the same fucking thing. Aliens. And all right, now you told me earlier. Did we say this on the show? Because I've been fucking around with computer stuff too. Did you say that people were saying that the holes looked like they had been drilled from the inside out in Siberia?
Yeah, I said that earlier.
Okay,
Yes, I didn't say that on the show.
We went over that, but imagine what we've got. This team disappears. The holes are being drilled out in Siberia from the inside out. How long has that been going on? 6 months or something.
Yeah,
I don't
several
know.
months.
But so now we got the methane popping up. They spotted it. Imagine what happens next. Right through the fucking surface.
Yeah.
The thing comes out. Now, when
And
it
that's
happens,
it for us.
Once they announce themselves in the United States, then you know it's on.
Yeah.
They're like, they don't come to
It's
the United
them or
States
us.
until they're ready. Like in every alien movie, it starts out in like a fucking
Africa
rice
or-
paddies somewhere, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh no, an alien, in their language.
And they have and they have no hope.
But it always starts out there, and then it's like when it gets to the United States, then you know.
Yeah.
You know they're taking over.
So they're preparing, I guess.
Yeah. It'd be no big deal like if aliens just took over one small country.
Yeah.
Just
fine, just let them have it.
what was that country I made up? Zilbekia. Just aliens take over Zilbekia. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll get some diplomatic ties going. We'll figure things out.
You should look more into sovereign nations and make your land Zilbekia.
I guess I should.
Yeah.
This could be the
but then
fine
you'll be
nation.
susceptible to alien invasion.
So what is the deal with this methane shit? Is that all you know? It's a giant. It looks like a giant spot of fucking gaseousness on a gas map.
Yeah.
That we looked at.
It's
And that
just
is not
about-
just cows, right?
No. They
Now it's so weird that it's right over the four corners, huh?
it's
of the
right
States?
next to it, yeah.
Oh, right next to it?
It's within range, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
just-
weird that it's at such a major like crossroad,
It's very strange, and honestly, that's why NASA is starting to get involved because they've been trying to determine the source of the methane, and they can't figure out exactly what's causing it. There's a coal-fired power plant, like within range, but it would be impossible for it to have created the entire thing. So it could be contributing to it, but there have to be a bunch of other factors at play. They said so.
They're coming from the inside.
They're
of
coming
the
from the inside.
fucking Earth.
Yeah.
Now, that brings
Are
up
they
another
the
thing.
Hollow Earthers.
Isn't it so much more likely that if there is a not alien? Oh my god! I just remembered something.
What?
Holy fuck!
What?
Listen, yesterday I was on the way to the store to get a jack for my van because my van had a flat tire. Actually, Matt Gear came and picked me up and saved my life.
Gear to the rescue.
Yeah, and he saved my life the night before, and so yesterday I was going to get a jack to fix the van, which I had to leave on the street. On my way, I get a phone call, and it was a 630 number, and it looked like a municipal number. It had like a few repeating numbers in it, I'm like, oh, this is one of those municipal numbers. I was like, this is probably the fucking cops asking me if I'm going to move my van. And I pick it up, kind of annoyed, and the guy's like, hello, is this Vinny Miko? And I was like, yes, I think it's the police. And he says a bunch of shit, and his phone like cuts out, and I'm like, what? I can't hear you. What's going on, And he goes, I was told by someone to call you. I'm someone who communicates with, or how do I want to put this? I don't want to misrepresent what he said. He was basically talking to me about star people and how he's a healer and how he channels with star people and knows a lot of other like major channelers around the country and stuff. And he goes, a friend of mine that I work with told me to call you because you've got this show, He's like, would you meet me at like, a diner or something so I can tell you what I'm all about, I'm like, whoa. And it was like, it was so like movie-ish, I'm like, all right.
Liar.
Yeah. Half of me is like, do you know how many weirdos behind fucking train stations I've gotten high with that said stuff like this? You know what I mean? It's like, so I mean, I don't know. The guy seemed pretty level-headed, I guess. Now, here's the thing. If you're into like very like progressively metaphysical stuff and you've ever seen like channeling and been around that kind of stuff, there's no way to prove that you're not crazy if you believe in it. It's so against what's established as fact and reality now in our society that like you're not going to prove that they're not crazy. That doesn't mean it's not real.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a weird territory. So this guy, me and him end up talking for about 20, 25 minutes about just why you should never say. It brought back to me because I said alien. And he's like, if you call them aliens, they're gonna feel, that word has like a resonant quality, and this all goes back to sigil magic and how like each word has like a vibrational quality and meaning. So if you say alien, it will be off-putting. If you call them star people, you'll be able to start having a relationship with them and this and that. So I really talked to this guy for, like I said, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. And this is going to get brought to the show.
Awesome.
Very soon. And
yeah, that's
yeah, he seemed like a cool guy. I mean, he was fine with me.
It sounds really interesting at the very least. I don't know much about that.
But
stuff.
a part of you goes, okay, I don't want to fucking buy into somebody's shit right off the bat until I figure out what the fuck they're talking about.
I always say I don't believe anything. I mean, if something seems probable, I'll give it that. But to say I believe in it, well, that would mean that like I wholeheartedly think it's true, and I don't know anything.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm certain of is that I don't know shit, like
it's too interesting not to like have an honest conversation about it though. I would never, if somebody called me like that, I would just, even if they did sound like a loon, I would just have to talk to them about it.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I felt awesome. I felt like Art Bell like in the 90s, just starting out and getting these weird calls, like, just like that's what doing a show like this is so. I mean, you're gonna meet so many fucking interesting.
Well, I'm glad to hear he's coming on.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to meet. It was this kind of classic thing of him being like, I don't know if I can trust you yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what you're about. We'll meet. We'll talk. We'll see what we want to do.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. He's like, I don't trust anyone. What are you killing?
Spider.
It's not a fast
spider?
one.
How big is it?
Big and fast and black.
Oh, dude, that's one of those creepy black spiders.
It's time.
Those have got to go. Yellow, brown, we can get down. If you're black, you're gonna get whacked.
Step back, Jack.
That's the policy. Don't burn it to death.
All those spiders in my house are clear.
Jesus.
What are those?
That's a message to spiders.
That's disgusting. The spider fumes just came up at me.
Oh, now you're gonna have a spider ghost in you.
Holy shit, I'm gagging those.
Cool.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe you'll get his powers
He
or
just
something.
burned it. Oh, fuck.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I almost threw up. He just burned the spider, and I just like smelled a whiff. Dude, I just smelled a whiff of like burned spider. Just came right in my face.
Oh, gross.
Dude, I had weed once that had live little worms in it.
Yeah. I've seen weed worms.
Yeah, they're like bright orange.
Yeah, totally. I haven't seen those in forever.
Me neither have I, but
when I was in high school, when we used to get really fucking dank weed, remember when dank weed was dank weed?
Yes,
nobody
yes,
has said that in 15 years.
Or kind bud. People used to call it kind bud.
Remember when it was new? It was like there's weed and then there's this fucking new shit.
Right. There's $20 an eighth shit, and then there's this.
And so when you used to get dank weed, as it was called, in like in the year 2000.
Well, I had this shit in like the 90s.
It would have once in a while these little bright orange neon fucking worms. And then you would smoke them, but then sometimes you would keep one for a pet, and you'd go, here.
What do they turn into?
He lives in my weed jar, man.
What do they grow into? Because I'm assuming they're larvae.
Don't smoke my worm. He's been alive for 3.5 days, dude.
Come on, man.
They were alive, though, a lot of the time.
Yeah, they were always alive.
Ew, I have never had this experience.
Yeah, we used to just smoke them.
Neither.
Really?
Yeah, we used to just smoke them.
Neither of you ever saw weed worms?
No.
Maybe that's only an old person thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember it happening for a really long time. I haven't seen them for a really long time.
When
One
you said
time
2000s.
But they were always the same. They were weed worms. And at the beginning of the internet, I do remember looking them up and figuring out what they were. But
Could we get a picture?
Let me see.
I got it. Go ahead, Andrea.
I started smoking weed regularly like in 2002.
When I was 4.
Probably. So unless they were gone by 2002. But you know what? I did have one time I bought a really, really, really big, like a half a pound of weed. And in it was just one bright orange nugget. And it was just its own thing. Looked exactly like weed, except it was bright orange instead of green and red or whatever. It was like a little more crumbly than the rest of the weed, but we smoked it. It got us high. It was It was weird. It was just like really, really orange.
Probably like the top of one of the plants or something. Or
Yeah.
who knows? But yeah, that'd be cool. So
there was one. Hold on. There it is.
These worms, yeah. They were really, really small.
Yeah.
No, I've never had one of those.
I guess it looks kind of like a mealworm, but like bright orange.
What does that go into?
I don't know what that is. I'll find out.
Cannabis worm, they're calling
I'm
it.
curious to see what that like matures to, because like I said,
It's a tie-dyed butterfly.
Right. I'm assuming that's a larva, like.
THC worms were first introduced to cannabis in the late 1870s by Charles Gershwin. He was studying... That's not George Gershwin. You mixed up. He was studying silkworms and the effect that their diet had on the silk that they produced. He was also an avid cannabis smoker. Keep in mind that cannabis was not viewed as the socially deplorable thing that it is viewed as today. And that's true. I mean, that didn't happen until the late 30s. But by feeding the worms leaves from the cannabis plant over 9 generations, he was able to produce a subspecies that produced silk supersaturated with THC. Over the next few decades, he introduced THC worms to various varieties of cannabis that eventually became commonplace. But obviously that story is not as interesting.
This advises that you smoke the worms.
Somebody says, one of the commenters says, I think I might buy a bag of just the worms. They get you real high, apparently. But I don't think so maybe they're just fucking little stupid shits. I don't know if they become anything.
Yeah, they might just be that.
So they're just little silkworms. That's
They make
interesting.
silk.
Yeah.
They make weed silk.
I guess that's what they are.
I want a weed silk shirt.
Just wear it and get high.
I don't know, like just be weird. Would it be bright orange too? Like what the fuck? I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
interesting that they're silkworms and
Yeah, but I
their
haven't seen one
origin.
in a long time.
I had them in the late 90s.
I think people are like curing their shit better nowadays and stuff, and there's processes going on.
I haven't even seen a seed in fucking forever, let alone a worm.
They come up once in a while.
Yeah.
They don't fucking germinate when I
Yeah,
try.
I was gonna say nothing you can plant.
Yeah, I know
anyway.
they don't work.
No, they're just little like half shriveled.
I used to be able to play Johnny Appleseed. I can't do that anymore.
Just drive around and throw them out your window. Yeah.
That was the fun thing way back when you would buy an ounce of weed and then you'd plant 30 weed plants.
Just in random places, right?
And you'd just germinate them in your room, and then oftentimes maybe your mom would find them or something and throw them away. That would happen to me. But like,
I used to keep them in a tape case wrapped in damp paper towel, and then you don't even need dirt, and then you just sprinkle them.
Eventually, you try to grow. We would always try to grow them and fail at some point, But you used to fucking have tons of plants.
Yeah.
30, 40 plants or something that would get to like a foot tall and then all die. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They'd all be the wrong kind.
Because you're a
and you couldn't
16-year-old stoned
smoke
retard.
weed off of them, yeah.
Before the internet.
Yeah.
Fucking sucked. Yeah.
You're supposed to go to the library and learn that?
And you
I
couldn't
don't
look
think
that
so.
shit up in school,
Yeah.
So anyways, what's next, Andrea?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We got You know what? We didn't talk about bees. Can we talk about bees?
Shut up.
Talk about bees.
All right.
Bees are.
You said before we started, you were like, I got plenty of stuff ready in case,
Yeah, I did. I just was wrapped up in this conversation about the weed worms. I was totally distracted.
Yeah,
by
they're
that.
pretty wild, though. That is, I can see being taken aback if you haven't seen that or weren't familiar with it. Like,
Yeah. Also, I was trying to get us a thunderstorm update because it started to lightning outside. I don't know if anybody else saw that. I may
totally
be the
didn't
only one with a
notice.
perspective to see, but we don't have a tornado yet. But
There was a tornado earlier, though.
there was a tornado earlier. Yeah, there were a couple earlier all around.
Do you know what level of tornado it was? Was it an F1?
I heard it was bigger than an F1.
Was it an F2?
Could have been. I mean, F2, F3. That's still pretty small.
Could it have been an F3 or an F4?
what's the F stand for?
It's
Wait a second. What about an F5? I assume you got the Twister clip for us, right?
I do.
We got reminded of tornadoes today. I just want to just remind everyone, because apparently most people in the studio have not seen this. We have one big Helen Hunt fan in the studio who has, of course, seen it because it's one of her finest films.
Yeah, truly a work of art.
You're a big Helen Hunt fan.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is our friend Chris.
So let's see what you think of this clip. Go ahead. We're gonna do some Twister here. Put it at the beginning. We need to get the full scope of this.
All right.
I haven't seen this, so I'm not.
That was a good size twister. What was that, an F3?
Solid F2.
See, now you've lost me again.
It's the Fujita scale. It measures the intensity of a tornado by how much it eats.
Eats?
Destroys.
Little encounter we had
Is
back
that
there.
Helen
Strong
Hunt?
F2, F3 maybe.
Maybe we see some F4s today.
That'd be sweet.
4 is good. 4 will relocate your house fairly efficiently.
Who's Helen Hunt?
Is there an F5?
Oh, you did not just go F5, you fucking
Would that
bitch.
be like?
You do not say that in this house.
Finger of God.
Finger of God. Oh, God, what a terrible fucking scene. Look at
Finger
everyone's
of God,
stupid
yeah.
90s fucking hairstyles, too. That's the best.
Never seen an F5.
It's funny when you're growing up, nothing looks stupid at the time. And I remember looking at pictures that were 10, 20 years old when I was a kid, just being like, oh, you know, what we're doing now is no way going to look like that.
Yeah.
You know, and look at how stupid the 90s looks now.
Yeah, everything looks
How
stupid.
terrible that is.
Yeah.
Look at everyone. Jesus
Terrible.
fucking Christ.
So yeah, I don't know if it was
Finger
an
of
F5.
God.
No, it was a little one, but it did happen. It touched down and everything.
I think there was an F5 in Illinois recently. That one that hit Washington, Illinois. Was
Yeah, a
pretty
few
fucking
years
huge.
ago.
Yeah.
Tornadoes are crazy. They can be like a mile across. But
Alex. Alex,
Yes.
what's going on with the kids today? You get close on your mic, almost so your mouth is almost touching it. And I want to
Okay.
know, what's the word on the street? What are the young kids talking about?
The kids aren't talking about much. They're remaining mindless.
Are they all retarded or what?
Yeah.
What's going on when you try to get people interested in like deeper, realer topics?
No, it depends on what you're talking about.
You hang out with losers though too, right?
No.
No.
Some.
I just wrote this down in my notebook today. Ask Alex what's going on with the kids today.
I want to hear about this. You got nothing?
I'll keep you posted. No, yeah.
Do you go or do you spend a lot of time in chat rooms? Is that what kids do?
Yeah, what are kids doing? Are kids in the chat rooms? Are kids chatting?
I've tried that too, and it's same. People are just stupid.
So you're finding when you're out and about, what kind? I mean, do you don't have a lot of friends that are like awakened in a lot of ways?
No, not fully.
What are the biggest problems you have? Because you're always telling me, nobody will listen to you about anything. You know, when you're trying to preach to your friends.
It's just I don't think they're ready to. It goes against everything they believe in, and
like what kind of stuff about like anti-government kind of shit?
Yeah,
or like
as soon as you get into that's when
anti-media.
That's when people tend to shut down.
Right. Okay.
See, that's interesting because I worked with some people a few years ago. I worked with some people who were still in high school, and I remember talking to one of the girls about. I said something about Jay-Z. Or something, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I know he's in the Illuminati. So is Beyonce." And she said it just like it was something that everybody knew, you know. And I remember being like, when I was 18, I didn't know. I was not even remotely aware of that, but I didn't have the advantage of social networking and Facebook. Really, is where the information is at this point, you know.
Well, I think that word Illuminati has been used to just kind of make it sound like just some stupid thing that kids talk about because they've perpetuated it on all these social networks and
now I will point out,
it's like I agree that it's like it's one of these sort of codifying terms. It's like that's going to be an easy way for somebody to go, Illuminati was an organization by whatever von Weishaupt that disbanded in 17 blah blah, and it's like it's just a popular word to use for whoever is really influencing things behind the scenes.
Right.
If you do indeed believe that there is a connected network that transcends borders and religions and this and that kind of is the puppet master behind major geopolitical events and such, which we tend to agree with on this show. So whatever. So that's the assumption you make by saying that. But anyways, I bring it up because I've worked with a lot of people who are 8 or 10 years younger than me and whatever, and it seems weird how more accepting of the mainstream they seem to be to me. Like, when I was a kid, there was a lot of stuff prevalent even in somewhat pop culture that was very anti-establishment, and the 90s was very big on that. And a lot of kids like that are your age, and we should explain, you're what, about 8 years, 10 years younger than me, something. Yeah. And so a lot of kids your age are like didn't have that anti-establishment art around growing up. Does it seem that way to you, or what?
Definitely, yeah. They just kind of censored it out of the mainstream, and it.
Because where do we have Matt? Can you pass that to Matt 1 second? Sorry. What did we have? We had Rage Against the Machine.
Oh man, we had so much fucking counterculture in the 90s and early 2000s. And I have posed this question. I'll give it back. I have posed this question on Lookbook a while back. Lookbook, if you're not familiar, is a very vacuous, like, here's what I wore today fashion website, which, yes, I take part in. I have a huge ego. But, like, I'm one of the older people on it. And once I said, where's the outrage, kids? Because there's a chat forum on it.
Yeah.
And I said, like, hey, kids, like, all this, your world's going to shit. Like, you can't blame my generation because we're lost and powerless. You're like the young, though. You're college kids. You need to be rioting and acting and
you can't
agitating.
blame us. We tried listening to Rage and smoking
she was
blunts.
Like, this girl got all up my shit and basically was like, well, you're like, fuck the man attitude, like this and that. And I was like, yeah, fuck the man. That's right. Like, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Fuck the man.
Right? Like, fight the power. Yes. Because she was like saying, you're like saying.
Well, that sounds very cliche to a lot of people.
Maybe it is.
That's another thing. Stuff that seems common sense to me. Kids that I've known that are like 20, 21 laugh at it. Even if they don't actually, once you get into the conversation, even if they are totally reasonable, their initial response is, oh yeah, fuck the man. You know, it's like it is a whimsical response that you tend to get normally. Chris over here, I don't know if you're down to say a few things, but I know you're about the same age as Alex, but you're in a much more I didn't kick it to you right off the bat because I know you seem like you're way more into like studying about world events and things like we're talking about, right?
Sure. No, I feel like
and you're probably in a circle of kids that do the same, is what I mean. Sorry, but go ahead.
No, I feel like that culture when I was a kid was definitely a subculture. There was that group of people that always hung out together that felt the same way.
Who were anti-establishment?
Yeah, that's not really. Yeah, that was never really like a thing growing up.
Try to stay right on your mic for me. If
for
you can.
sure.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Better?
These are just 58s. They're directional mics. You got to get right on them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I feel like I'm talking into a clown's nose.
That's exactly how you should feel.
Quite frightening.
Because this situation is not much less creepy.
Right, yeah, no, for sure.
So go ahead with what you were saying about you feel like there was that vein as you were growing up. There was that cultural vein,
right? And it was never the most important vein.
Well, now I'm thinking when there were times where like I keep saying Rage Against the Machine. I'm kind of blanking. I mean, I know there's a ton of stuff that was really anti-establishment. I guess you could say Kurt Cobain was really anti-establishment. Some of the most powerful stuff, even Beck was very anti-establishment in certain ways. And like there was a lot of that to latch onto, that where you'd go to a concert and 50 people from your school were there too. And it was generally fuck the man-ish kind of stuff. Even if it wasn't direct, it was anti-mainstream stuff, you know?
And that's what you did like every Saturday.
No, we didn't have money for that, but it was no, I mean, I'm just talking about like, say if we had gone to one of those concerts when we were kids, it was popular enough in the mainstream that you would have seen all kinds of kids from school. That's what I mean,
that for sure would not happen.
Right. Yeah.
In 2007 when I was in 7th grade.
And when you were in junior high and high school, what is even fucking popular then? It was like
the movie
Soulja Boy.
Jumper. Yeah, and Soulja Boy. Oh, for
Soulja
sure.
Boy was popular when I was in middle school.
Soulja Boy.
That was that was the hot thing when I was in middle school.
Damn it.
Oh, and that T-Pain song, I'm in Love with a Stripper.
All that shit. Yeah.
That's
awful. That was a good one.
No, thank you.
And Chris Brown was like 16 and really popular.
Oh, he was just a nonstop just threat of he was a dancer. He sang words.
I feel like
that he probably wrote.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, he was an actor.
Everything like
for any person who's like around 30, all that shit sounds retarded as hell. There's the worst things I've ever heard of.
But
because and shit actually started going really bad when I was young. I remember when Puff Daddy got really popular, and see that's how old that is.
They
Yeah, I know,
never
yeah,
called.
yeah,
They
now
never
he's-
called him that when I
Exactly.
was a kid.
See, now he was Puff Daddy, and you'll show him some
Sean
respect.
Puffy
Sean
Combs.
Puffy Combs at times even.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I
You'll
remember
show him some respect.
it was that scene, that like materialistic hip hop that started to take over, that led the way for just mainstream music to not have anything but just that kind of garbage. Like, now it's always been retarded, it's always been garbage, but labels had less control. The consolidation of power was not what it is now. And you know, there was more creativity bubbling up, you know, and things that were legitimately good could get a lot further than they get now, I feel like. Is that what you think, Matt? Sorry, you guys can pass it back and forth.
Yeah, I can only speak. I was really into like, you know, punk rock in high school, right? But like there were way more punk venues. They were way more mellow in the sense that like they were more dangerous then. Like there were fights and shit.
Did you ever see somebody get arrested at a concert until like 10 years ago?
No.
Fucking no.
People get arrested at the doors of concerts I went to with my friends.
Yeah. No. There was a time when a concert was an unwritten thing. You're allowed to smoke weed, and if a small fight breaks out, it's no big deal.
Right, they make you leave.
Well,
yeah. I mean, maybe you might get kicked out if you did something really bad. But like, whatever. Come on.
Did you get pat down like
Fuck
fully?
no.
Okay, because I went to this
retarded?
I went to this concert at like a theater, and they.
What are you, young?
I used to go to the Fireside Bowl a lot.
I went with me and my girlfriend at the time, and we got there. We took a cab. We got dropped off right there, and right away we walk up to the line, and they make us separate like boys and girls, and like it's this big concert, and they were like two different moving paced lines, and they had to like check everybody head to toe, pat them down. So that's why they had to separate them, and they every single person.
I've been at things like that.
No, that's why I don't go to shit anymore.
Yeah, it was.
That's why I don't
retarded.
fucking half the time. It has to be. It has
And people
to.
still got weed in.
It has to be my favorite artist for me to go to something now. It has to be top 10 shit. Yeah. Like I went to the Beck concert this summer, and that was a fucking ordeal, and I hated it. I hate getting herded around like cattle by idiots and security and fucking, well, let me look in your bag and shit. And it's like, no, let me look in your fucking face with my knife.
Yeah, fuck that. Do you remember Weed Fest? Do you remember Weed Fest on Cricket Hill in the 90s here in Chicago?
No.
Oh yeah,
I never went to that.
Oh, I did.
What was that?
Dope. It was just at Soldier Field and at Cricket
I know
Hill.
what you mean. When so many people would smoke, they couldn't do shit.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
thousands of people light up at once.
Yeah,
and it was all coordinated.
But then
and
they
shit,
moved
yeah.
it to Soldier Field, and then it became oppressive. But when it was at Cricket Hill, and you could just walk on up and get to Token in public, that I went to for the last year that they had it there, and that was like the most crazy fun day.
Well,
I took like so much acid and shit. Like it was beautiful.
A lot of music festivals are like that now in Chicago. You can pretty much smoke weed as long as you're not like
no, but
walking
it wasn't
around
like
where
pretty
like a bunch
much.
of
It was
kids
like
are.
go right ahead. Cops were like, "Hi guys,
it is. No,
smoke your fucking
cops will
dope."
walk by you. I mean, but they don't bother you. They're just worried about.
I've seen people get arrested at venues and festivals plenty of times. I don't know. I mean,
when they're acting retarded, I feel.
No,
like.
I've seen, dude. I've seen people actually. This is gonna sound stupid and made up, but it's completely true. I was smoking a joint with a group of kids through a chain link fence at a Warped Tour one time. And
you were on the outside?
No, we were just they separate the fucking fields for the stages by these giant chain link fences, really for kind of no reason, I guess. I don't know. But it was within the festival, there was a fence. And we were smoking with these kids, passing it through because we had rolled like 85 joints before we went. We're just going nuts. So say, hey guys, come here. And as we're passing it back and forth, cops ran up on these kids on their side of the fence and grabbed them, fucking polo shirts with their little stupid emblem, you know, little like cops that kind of fit in, you know, and just ran up, grabbed them, threw them against the fence, and they looked at us. We were already running. They just kind of looked at us like, whatever, because it was a long way around the fence. We just ran
what are they gonna do? Hop a fence?
Yeah, we just ran into the crowd.
That'd be police work.
I've snuck into Lollapalooza. It's kind of.
And it was, by the way, it was that was the most hilarious thing because they were holding the joint when the cops busted them, and we had totally called them over. They were standing like 30 yards away, and we had called them over like, dude, smoke this joint with us through the fence. And they're like, all right, whatever. So it was our weed that we got them to come over and smoke with us, and then they got arrested.
And then you just ran
and
away.
we ran away.
They probably thought you guys were like entrapping them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you got arrested.
Entrapment.
They've probably wondered about that forevermore.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I've seen it plenty of times.
I've been forcibly ejected from a concert before, and I didn't have any drugs on me, but I was searched, and I was taken to like that little holding cell, like in the back of a big venue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do that.
Well, because I had
Usually they're
left-
not even cops.
I had left
No,
my.
was it security?
It was security, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
a really big venue, and I had left my assigned seat and hopped a fence to get into general admission. So technically, I was trespassing. And then when they first asked me to return to my seat, I said okay, and then I tried to run away, and they caught me again. And that's why they forcibly ejected me.
That's good try, I guess.
But yeah, I've been there. I was in there with some girl who was tripping so bad. I felt so bad for her. She was clearly tripping really hard and was having her entire night ruined because she had been oh, P.S. This was a Fish concert.
Yeah, where was the venue?
Boo.
Toyota something. I can't remember. Some Toyota thing in.
No, it's called The World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Matt
it doesn't
knows.
matter. But yeah, so I've been there too. I know it happens. But I don't I've never been to a concert early enough to never experience the fear of smoking weed in public.
Yeah, dude,
I saw
I'm
the
telling you,
Circle Jerks at the Vic, right?
It used to be way better, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
you're not supposed to smoke weed in the Vic, but everybody was.
yeah, no, you can't get away with that shit anymore. But so is David Box joining us or no?
Yeah, he'll be here. Should be here any minute now. So stay tuned.
Let's do a
Unless he
quick
was
break.
Swept away by a tornado.
We're gonna take a left turn on the show when we get back and do some other kind of stuff. We will be right back on the Thursday version of our Sunday evening show. We are coming back on the Thursday evening overdose.
We're back.
Back in black.
We got some fresh faces, some new blood in the studio.
Some new blood.
David
One
Box.
fresh
A nice
face.
new piece of ass.
David Box.
Hey.
Touching his lips to the mic for the first time tonight.
And
Thank
it
you
is
for
a pleasure.
joining us. Hey, and let's not lie, we're all jealous of the microphone. So where are we at here in the goddamn show anyways?
We are, we were just discussing what David Box might be like if he were black instead of white.
Yeah.
I'm pretty black, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm
you
already pretty black.
Already, yeah, I know. But like on the outside, do you think it would have changed your personality very much?
Well, I would definitely be hassled by police a lot more.
Do you guys really
I'd care a lot more about money. I would be strapped with a gat.
what is what is the deal right now with where you guys are at as far as the whole argument that's going on in society about, like, it's still really pissing me off how many people say that white people can't understand the problem with police.
No.
You know what I mean? It's
I don't accept that.
And again, like I've said on the show before, like I run in pretty artsy circles, and that is like the prevailing viewpoint.
I don't agree if it's white. It's not white people. It's like upper middle class and.
No, I know. I'm just
like,
saying, like where this is what people out there are saying. Yeah, so you don't agree.
No, yeah. If you're, I think if you're a minority anywhere, doesn't matter if you're white. Like you're gonna be hassled more by the local police. That's just the way any town is.
If you're a white person in a black neighborhood,
you don't look right wherever the town is, whatever they're.
If you got city clothes out in the country, if you got whatever. Yeah, no, I mean you could get looked at for any number of reasons if you're out of place anywhere.
More widely though, like it's really just a class war. It's a lower class war, and it just happens to be that most brown and black people are of the poorer class. But ask any poor white person, and yeah, the cops suck. We'll all tell you.
Oh yeah, we've all any poor white person who's especially opted to use drugs which is not an immoral decision. But especially if you did that at a young age, a lot of us fucking understand how horrible they are, you know? And a lot of us have been physically abused and beat up. And you know,
on top of it, then you are alienated from your own cause by the black people because you
that's
can't
what's
understand
pissing me off is because
what
like
they're going through. So
in a lot of mainstream like social networking, that's what's dominated the cause is like, you know, this is a conversation about racial profiling and that's it.
Well, it's
and
divide and conquer.
Right, there you go.
Same thing as always.
I guess that's the point we keep.
Manufactured that way.
That's the point we keep coming back to is like, of course, there's a rising anti-establishment, anti-police movement, so they have to figure out how to fragment it.
Race has always been a real touchy subject for black people, such as myself.
This is actually, I noticed this was very, very prevalent this week in how the police interactions with citizens have been totally manufactured to be racist more than anything else because of this new video that I'm sure most of you have already seen. I'm going to find it when I finish my sentence. Are we going to talk about this?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
All right, you set it up. I'm going to find it.
You're talking about the guy in the park. This is the first cop that's been charged with murder lately, right?
Oh.
One of them, yeah.
One of them. I mean, this is an on-duty cop who shot a guy. Whoops, I wasn't talking to my mic right. Sorry. This is an on-duty cop who shot a guy who was running away from him, and he blatantly planted a taser on him on video and then tried to say the guy stole my taser and came after me, so I had to shoot him. Had no idea that the video was being taken. It didn't look like it. The cops never really looked over at the guy taking the video. I don't think they knew. The guy might have been doing a good job concealing it, I guess. Who knows? But
yeah, it kind of looks like he took it sneakily.
Write this down. Let's try to get that guy on the show.
Okay.
He's not famous. We can get him.
He's already on record as saying that he fears for his life for having released this. Now, let's
get him on the show. But hold on. Let's just finish explaining. So the perp had been stopped at some routine traffic thing, and I guess had gotten out of the car and run away, right? And he's pursuing him through the park. The guy gets away and is completely not a threat, is 50 feet away, is an older guy, probably in his 50s, and he doesn't look to be running too well. He's like not even running very fast, and he gets fucking cut down by like 5 shots right in the back. All on video.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
What I was going to say was this was not covered as police officer murders an unarmed human being. Every single headline that I saw was white officer shoots unarmed black man. That's here. Let's see.
Not to mention
a white.
Hold on. Not to mention the complete, just incomprehensible amount of detachment that happens in the media when they're reporting this, and it's, you know, an officer accused of gunning a man down has been charged with murder. Officer in that case, again, accused of planting evidence. And instead of coming out and saying there's a video which clearly shows him planting evidence, which there is, but they do this there's always this fucking padding.
Allegedly.
The media is always gonna pad for law enforcement. They're always gonna fucking try to soften the blow of anything they do. But really, it should be reported as nothing other than a clear murder and then a clear attempt at a fucking cover up, because that's what it was.
Even Larry Wilmore, who I respect, and his
Who's
new
that?
show, Larry Wilmore, he's kind of like he was on the Daily Show, and he has kind of a spin-off show now called like The Late Show that he's just started.
Those Jews.
Well, he's black, but he was
that's the worst.
He said
kind of Jew.
he brought up, you know, he was talking recently about what we're talking about here, this exact case, and I mean, he was talking about it, and he said, like, it never happens to white people, but there's been a lot of murders of white homeless people, white war vets.
Dude, I've been at, on my own, I've been at the fucking barrel of a cop's gun plenty of times where I knew if I made one wrong move, they wanted to kill me. You could see it in their eyes.
They are looking for a fucking excuse.
They want to. They want to, no matter who you are.
The race ones probably make the news because it can be used to further divide people and create this separation. You know, they can use it to project the worldview that they want. And when a white person gets killed, that image of the world that they want everyone to have starts to break down.
Because if we actually reunited against the 1%, if all of us were like, hey, you know what? All this like the rest of this stuff is just bullshit. Race is totally concocted by like centuries of bullshit. Let's just ignore it.
Well, if you want to know what a bullshit argument like race in general is, just there's an easy thing you can find that's just a chart that's like the race myth, and it shows the varying skin colors, the 95,000 different skin colors that there are around the world, and the direct way that they blend evenly over the geography. And it goes to show you, like, there is no black, white, blah, blah, blah. Everything is so fucking varied and diverse. It really is a bullshit argument. It really is.
Remember I said I like eugenics?
No.
Remember I was talking about that? And I was like, but let me clarify. No, let me clarify, though. I'm not into... I think we should treat it more like you do with, like, breeding animals where you're trying to breed the strongest. And if you want to do that, you want to mix the races as much as possible.
Oh, we did a little experiment with
Hitler.
that.
No. Listen, though. I'm not talking about what Hitler was doing. They went about it the completely wrong way.
I think if you look at the NBA, you'll see the results of that experiment.
Well, that seems to be working well, right? We've got very athletic, but let's just say
look what it took to do that.
You want to breed
that
like
only
smarter, healthier people, though, and like we should encourage that. Is what I'm saying, and also you want to mix the races because you want to keep that gene pool fresh, whereas most white people are, in fact, it turns out, married to their cousins and shit like that. You just don't know it.
Oh yeah, the Europeans are bad with
right.
that.
So like that's bad. That's probably why we have autistic kids and shit.
But I mean, look, my point about the what we did with slavery in that regard in this country is just like, look what kind of control it takes to have that thing where you only breed the biggest and best and strongest.
But
that
let's
only
apply that in
through,
good ways, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we do through natural selection.
No, but that's not working, dude. And like, look
it's
around.
working fine.
It's just it's not being given a chance right now.
No, it's not. Yes. Yeah.
There's modern medicine and agriculture. You know,
It
everyone
works on
has
a scale
food.
Of millions of years. You need to wait.
No, it's becoming less modern selection and more access to money. The people with the access to money are the people who have access to healthcare, access to food, access to. I mean, it's
a
the
complex
natural
question, but
selection
still,
itself has evolved.
People still
into-
have the free will to choose good partners based on something other than that.
Sure,
right?
And it does happen all around you.
Yeah.
Look at everyone in this room. We're not that fucking special, you know. I mean, everyone in this room is living a life that's not based on greed. So,
right,
you know.
But still, most people are like prone to be surrounded by their own race.
But none of us have kids, though.
Well, I mean,
but if I did
I'm
have
surrounded
kids,
by
they
a bunch of
wouldn't have
white
been
guys
white.
right
No, I was
now,
just saying
so-
to negate my point. Like,
Well, but if I had
we're
had a
not
child,
the ones breeding.
it would have
so-
been half Korean and half white. So right there, I'm keeping the gene pool thriving.
by mixing it up.
Yeah,
That would have been sick, dude. I mean, like in a good way, meaning like awesome.
Ew.
You know?
Sick, that's
like
sick,
that shit
bro.
would have been sick. No, Asian hybrids are fucking are like good looking people. You know, when you get like a black and an Asian and a white and an Asian, they come out nice.
Oh yeah, mix anything. Mix anything with an Asian.
They're more efficient too.
They come out nice.
Available next year.
Splash of Asian.
Yeah, splash of Asian is never
Low
bad.
monthly
for the,
payments
for the family tree.
For your
Spice
Asian
it up a
hybrid.
little.
Well, but mixing it is the way to go, though, because you get all the strongest traits from all of the. You know, that's how they do it with dogs. That's why you want to buy a mutt instead of a purebred, because mutts are healthier.
Yeah, no. What I would
That's
like
exactly
is
what I'm saying. That's all.
I think there should be more ways that we treat the populace like animals and dogs. There
Yeah.
you go. Great. But no, I mean, eugenics scares me unless it's.
Well, I didn't say it should be enforced. I just mean it should be encouraged.
Sure.
Let me just state that.
So
like,
you
as
should
well.
discourage breeding with shitty people.
Yeah.
How do you decide who's shitty?
Well, if someone has like degenerative heart problems, right? You probably don't want to have a kid with them. I don't care how much you love them. Adopt, assholes. Most people have children for the most selfish fucking reasons.
That sounds so
They think
creepy,
it's a little mini me, or it's like, oh, it's you know, just like a little me. No, it is a fucking separate person. So adopt.
Yeah, it's such like a self-fulfilling thing for a lot of women, especially in America, to have a kid and like
Isn't there like a chemical instinctual drive to have your own child?
Somebody has to reproduce.
Not to put down adoption.
Yeah.
People should adopt, but like,
And should it be? And also, should the only ones be reproducing just be the idiots that do it by accident? Like,
No, absolutely not.
if people who are
That
smart enough
is what it is. Just the dumb people who do it by
Yeah.
accident and then just don't think it through and
I said
just
that last
have a
sentence
baby.
like a caveman. I was like, should the only people be reproducing the ones that by accident?
Only we make
We got
baby.
through it though.
I make baby. I smart.
I make baby good.
I do on purpose.
But yeah, that's what I don't understand.
That's why poor countries they are big into Catholicism and shit because that's how they up their numbers, by keeping
refusing
birth control. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Then that's why Islam is growing
There's
so
that, but
much.
there's another-
It's because they don't have birth control.
There's other things that contribute to overpopulation in impoverished areas, and weirdly enough, one of them is the extremely high rate that people die of disease early on in life, and people tend to have more kids as an instinct, and I've heard that sounds like a bullshit argument, and I honestly thought it was bullshit for a long time, and I think there might be some truth to it because people respond in excess by okay, well, we need to have 12 kids even though we don't have enough food. Oh shit, 8 of them survived. We didn't plan on that. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know, and that's just a thing that I've heard. I might be totally wrong about that. What do you guys?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Does that make sense?
A near death experience or a sudden that reality hitting you that might trigger you to want to reproduce.
End up with more people than they have food for, and
yeah. Well, let me ask you: have you read anything about memories being passed down through DNA?
Yeah, we've talked. Actually,
you have on the show.
We've talked about that on the show quite a bit.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple times.
Maybe that's just a memory.
What's a memory?
Well, maybe that's just brings them back to that instinctual, just needing to reproduce if you can, because
you can
you're
just
all
feel
dying
it's
out.
what you're
Yeah, your
supposed to
people,
do.
your people are dying. Yeah, it's natural.
In a
Well, that's
place
just
like
evolution.
that.
So there's momentum to the process. You're saying is that not only are you seeing it go on around you, but you've got that ancestral memory that's I just need to fucking have as many kids as I can.
Yeah.
People are an asset. You can use your kids to do things to get more food and stuff like that.
That's true too.
And the more the merrier.
Yeah, really. Yeah. This mud hut was awfully lonely. For my 8 starving children started crying here all night.
No, it's just lovely.
Now there's some out of work fucking actress walking around, taking them by the hand.
Sean Penn's over here.
Mbuku hasn't had food in 46 days.
I'm not gonna give him any. Will you?
Oh yeah,
but that brings me to the point that I always come to. There's not overpopulation. There's not lack of resources. There's resource hoarding and
Overregulation.
vast oppression and
Yeah.
overregulation and funneling everything to the top at the literal. At the expense of literally millions or billions of fucking people. I don't even know how many people are starving in the goddamn world, but that's not that's not an overpopulation thing. It's probably how did we even get here through eugenics, I guess, but it's not. Yeah, like I always say, it's not a coincidence that Africa has the highest amount of natural resources per capita and the lowest standard of living.
Yeah. That's absolutely not.
Bad
a
luck to have
coincidence.
resources in this world.
Yeah.
Not a fucking good thing.
Yeah, it's probably the worst thing you could do is have a resource.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get you.
But Matt, are you really sticking to your eugenics thing?
Well, I don't know if that's even really real eugenics, but I just think that we should definitely encourage people to actually mix the races in the future and encourage people to breed with healthier people than they maybe have been. It just seems.
Have you been breeding with unhealthy people?
But I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how you encourage this.
Don't you see how that if you let that mindset get out of control, it could get very creepy very fast.
Anything can get creepy if you let it get out of control.
I think until we've evolved as a species past elitism, I'd be very afraid of having anything like that go on.
How could you possibly enforce regulations on who's having.
I don't think I don't think you should, but I think it, like I said, it should be encouraged. And I mean like just encouraged like the way that we encourage women now, like you said, to get married and have babies because that's the zenith of your fucking existence. Like the same way we have impressed,
for a lot of women, it is and very fulfilling for them, and that's
good on them,
and that's what they want,
I guess.
I wasn't suggesting that women only exist to have babies.
A lot of us are.
Some people are totally just moms.
I look back on my mom in her 20s raising us kids, and she is so happy that she did that these days and stuff. And I think about like, man, I would not have given up my party years for that. Like I'm a little more selfish,
Yeah.
and
Jesus
I mean, but for her, she says, you'll never understand unless you have kids. And for her, she goes, hey, the second you guys popped out, you were my life. And that was fine. That was great. That was what she wanted to do. I mean, and I think
there's a chemical thing to that though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
That's the point.
No. But I think, you have to go through it, like she said, to feel
Yeah,
that
I
way.
could never understand.
You can't grasp it until you live that way.
It seems
way too selfish.
But
to
why
pop
is
out
it
a child
so,
anytime
like,
soon.
I don't see why it's so, like, looked down upon by so many people now,
What, to be a mom?
Yeah. Or to be, like, a housewife or somebody who wants that lifestyle.
True.
I have no problem with it if that's what you want to do and you find it fulfilling, but I do have trouble when we like we don't ask little girls like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or it's always like,
I agree. There's inequalities.
Stuff like that, and we need to stop that. We need to don't if that's your choice, that's your choice. But don't ask them like what kind of man they want to marry when they grow up. Okay, shit like that. Like it was my niece's birthday, and like
why not? Why not
my
ask
whole
the
family
boys what
was
kind of woman they
assuming-
want to marry too?
Because maybe they won't want to marry a woman. Maybe they won't want to marry anyone.
Well, so then they can say that. Yeah. And
what's wrong with opening up that conversation? I don't want to marry a. What
if they say
I'm gonna marry a
I want to marry a
guitar.
man when I grow up, and the teacher's like, oh, okay, and then they got to deal with it. I don't know.
Let's open up that door.
Right? Yeah, and then more further and further we go, it's going to be less and less of an issue too. I mean, most people are not freaked out by that kind of thing anymore. But I mean, I think like the way you say, like, all right, so we raise girls to have these expectations of life. I think a lot of that is kind of out at this point. I mean, I don't know. Well, I think a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
feel like the world expects me to have a baby.
Really?
I feel like if I don't, people are going to judge me, and I don't feel like the same thing.
Yes,
is
guys,
applied to
I don't
men.
get that at all.
I don't have that at all either.
I do.
I feel like
So as a
I
woman,
always have.
you get that instinctively kind of from society.
Yeah.
You think they want me to pump out a unit.
And I know it's true because for a long time I couldn't decide if I would be interested in having kids, and for the first time, like maybe in the last 2 years or so, is the first time in my life where I'm
Because people start to
comfortably-
ask a few things once in a while, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, I've been dating my boyfriend a long time.
are you guys
People want to
thinking
know
about
when-
having kids, maybe?
Yeah.
Or you guys getting married?
Well, first of all, that's a personal question. Like, I don't. Do
It
I
is
have
fucking
to
strange that people
discuss
can't keep their stupid questions to themselves sometimes with such
Yeah.
personal issues. It's not just that, it's a lot of things. And one of the biggest ones in life is like what were you at the doctor for? Like,
Yeah.
how
So
about
are
you
ya-
shove it up your
I'm
goddamn
not gonna
ass? Because
tell
I don't
you
want to
that.
tell you about my penis problem.
Are you ovulating?
Or whatever it is. My vulva problem.
No, but that's their.
I got a
not
problem
the
with
vulva
my
problem.
vagina gills.
All right. But that's
the
there.
gills in there,
I
you
have
know.
felt that, and for the first time over the last 2 years is the first time in my life where I've been like, I don't feel weird telling people I'm not interested in having a child. I finally feel confident.
Have you ever
enough
seen a
to say
child?
that.
Who wants a
You go,
child?
girl.
I don't
So-
fucking want a kid. Hell
so
no.
you're
Are you
not-
kidding me? They're exhausting. They're annoying. They require a ton of work.
All right,
They
all
don't
right.
They
sleep.
think
I
they're
don't wanna-
so
whatever.
goddamn
There.
smart.
They suck your youth too. Let me
Yeah.
say,
Yeah,
any of my
yeah,
friends
but-
that have children have aged like 100 years.
I know, but
They'll
you
suck your
guys.
dick too.
All right, Richie Rich over here.
But what you guys gotta what you guys gotta realize is that if people decided 200 years ago that having kids sucks, let's not have any, none of us would be here to do that. I mean, somebody's got to have kids just because people are awesome. I love people.
Yeah.
You know?
Really? Why?
Yeah, because we do a lot of shitty stuff. But then again, it depends on what side of the bed you wake up on. You can go through your day and appreciate so many awesome things and great compassionate things about people all over the world all day long, every day if you choose to. People are fucking great. I love people. Love them.
Yeah.
I do. You know? I mean, and somebody's got to have some. Somebody's
it's the things they do I hate.
So when are you going to have a kid?
You like me. I like you.
I do.
Hey, wait. He likes him. She likes him.
We are all.
He likes me. I like her. She likes him. Okay.
You and me.
Everybody here likes each other. That's the point.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yay.
Okay.
So there's great people all over. People are great. We're such an amazing story. You know, such a strange anomaly where we are.
Yeah.
Compared to, there's nothing else on the planet doing anything. We're the only thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. There's not a fucking. There's nothing. There's not like even like a bird that has like a good launch system or anything. There's like
No, they got
there's
nothing.
there's no bird with a catapult to get started. There's not even like simple tools.
Bees are like, fuck it, they're done.
There's no bees. Bees are all using their wings, working their. There's no bees with little bee helicopters.
No, they got nothing. They're doing it all the
Some
old-fashioned
monkeys
way.
use tools, don't they?
Yeah.
And some other animals.
Would you like to
primates
see?
do, but
Would
they
you
don't
like to
build
see?
them.
We don't know what's going on in the ocean. Don't forget.
That's
though.
true,
Yeah,
but
And
that's
that's
a
a
good point.
big
The
part of the
mermaids.
planet.
Nobody's
too.
ever seen an animal like even like a primitive like Roman chariot. You know, hey, let me see one fucking squirrel mount up in a chariot and get dragged around by a rat. And okay, then we can talk. I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing. There's no animal fucking radio stations. There's nothing.
No.
They
they're
can't
not
do
doing
anything. So I mean, we're just so awesome. We really
There's
fucking
whale
are.
songs.
There's whale songs that reach.
Well, that's to the human ear. And ants make very complicated little tunnels and stuff. I mean, if you view our society as the zenith of everything on the planet.
No, so that's. I mean, they got nothing. They got nothing. Show me an animal on like some kind of primitive vehicle.
Well, maybe because we're fucking
yeah.
up all their shit.
No.
No, they have plenty of
They were here
space.
for a long time before
Yeah.
us. They could have done something. Somebody could have done something.
Yeah, they had at least.
How are you
going to
build any kind of structure in the
There's
ocean?
no fucking signs.
I think
we didn't
there
come
are
up.
smart fish.
Humans
they
didn't
just
come
can't
up.
do that underwater.
Huh?
You can't build a structure underwater.
A fish.
Not
yeah,
if people
a
like
fish
you
is smart
keep
enough-
saying can't.
You could if there wasn't all that pressure and.
I'm
No,
telling
they'd
you.
find
What
a
about the coral reef? That's a
No,
structure.
The coral reef is
So you're viewing
bullshit.
like, okay, there's not going to be a building
exactly
as you recognize
so
it.
why
So
not?
you agree?
Okay, fine.
They all
but
suck.
I'd like to see you make coral reef.
I don't really want to. I probably could if I had enough time to sit around in some shit little bay and throw rocks
No,
down
not-
on the ground for
not
a
me. I
thousand
have
years.
calcium
But I got things to do.
deficiency.
I'm a
I could
person.
never crank out a reef.
I mean, here's the reason I don't make coral reef because I'm not some kind of shitty little fucking amoeba swimming around doing something on rocks that I don't give a shit about.
I'm important.
Why
God
don't-
damn it!
why don't
I've
you
got a
make
radio.
buildings
I've got a
either?
radio show. I've got things going on. Here's the point. People are great. It's indisputable.
Yeah.
We have whooped ass beyond belief, and it's only getting better. We're just we're gonna take this shit to some other planet till we ruin that, and then we're gonna go further. We're learning about terraforming. All right.
Yeah.
You know.
What's that?
We are learning some cool shit.
Yeah. We're terraforming. It's about changing a planet to be able to, host an atmosphere that could have human inhabitation. We could theoretically plant. The theory would be that if we could get enough like vegetation and plant life to grow, we could cultivate an oxygen atmosphere slowly over 1,000 years based on our technology now. But
Yeah, and it would create its own atmosphere that would contain itself. Basically.
It's very common in science fiction, things of that nature.
That's dope.
Well, and it's also one of the biggest things that's science fiction to nonfiction, where scientists actually draw inspiration from science fiction to create things in real life.
Yeah, terraforming.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
We could do that shit. We're going places.
I've already done it.
I'm telling you, look at people. Look at what's going on now. And tell me we don't fucking kick ass versus every other stupid animal on this whole place. And tell me we are not destined for the stars.
Think about how much more kick-ass we could be if we had eugenics.
Define you see. I could argue that like the rattlesnake leads a far nicer life than we do, and is far more civilized. It's not leaving a big ass stupid carbon footprint. It goes out every night.
That a rattlesnake lives under some
sleeps
stupid
all
rock.
day.
Fuck him.
And that is a good, pure existence.
A rattlesnake will get scared of an 8-year-old hiker and jump out and risk its life to bite it for no reason. What a sophisticated species living under a stupid rock out in the desert.
That's what I'm saying. Let me announce. Sophistication isn't necessarily the sign of.
You'd be scared of an 8-year-old fucking giant too.
I said destined for the stars.
I can't argue with that.
I think we are. And I mean, other species might live technically. What do you bring? A rattlesnake is just killing things all day. That's all it does.
But that's exactly what I mean. It has this one thing that it does, and it does it with proficiency and leaves no carbon footprint. When it dies, it turns back into dust and goes like back into the soil. We have become this weird alien thing on this planet. We're the only thing, like you said, that does these weird fucking things. And why do we do them? There's no more point to what we do than what the rattlesnake does.
Yeah, I mean, human consciousness. It's a step in our evolution, and I wanted to get into that topic with you, Vinny.
It's the fine line between dog shit and divinity.
I want things to change.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I wanted to get into that with you, Vinny.
About what?
Human consciousness. And
what about it?
I mean,
Human consciousness alert. Human consciousness alert. In-depth discussion.
Warning! Warning!
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm done.
That was a close one.
What about it?
Just the...
No, seriously, go ahead.
I mean, how's that different than we're trying to get to our max capacity. We're still moving. The rattlesnake, however, they're living at their max capacity. They've had it figured out forever.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope, I do not.
Well, who is anybody to say which one is more important and is doing more damage than it's supposed to? Or
Well, that's what I mean. We're doing damage. But to our own survival. We're not going to hurt the planet. Like, when we all die off, when there's no more water or clean air or whatever, the planet will still fucking be here.
Earth will take it.
Right. It'll
what's
be
wrong
fine.
with that image is what I'm saying.
I mean, if that's
asking.
our destiny and our doom, then fine. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, I agree. I like people too, Vin. But like, I don't think that necessarily that our drive to just do things is necessarily good. And I would actually totally argue that it has no more purpose than that of the rattlesnake or the cockroach or whatever. Everything we do is ultimately completely pointless, as we will all die eventually. And, what did you do?
You're making an awful lot of assumptions. Because I'm never going to die.
Yeah, we've talked about this on... I don't think I'm going to die either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
No, that's not a thing. I mean,
how can it be?
Who the fuck is
real
going to
here.
die?
No, I'm going to stop using that word right now.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I don't know. We might have to just... we might have to call this one a draw for right now.
Of who? Us versus the Earth?
No, just the thing that me and Matt were going back and forth about. I don't see where else to go with it.
Larger.
Yeah, call this a draw. Us versus the Earth.
Yeah.
Who will be the final victor?
Stalemate. There is some good news about the Earth, though.
Let's hear it.
Let's have it.
Lowe's will no longer, this is as of 7 hours ago, Lowe's will no longer sell neonic pesticides linked to bee deaths.
Dude, the bee thing is really getting to me.
Yeah. That's actually, if we'll all recall, that my first...
Bee alert.
Let me
Holy shit.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you remember the last time you got stung by a bee? Because I remember it was really common 10 years ago.
I was a child.
That's true. It's been a long time for that, too.
Only ever been stung one time.
I've been stung about probably 10 or 15 times because I just have always been kind of fucking getting into stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of times when I was older in abandoned buildings and places like that, you'll come across a hive. So I've been stung a couple times climbing around and going in the wrong place in a tree or whatever. It's some stupid old abandoned shit. But it hasn't happened in a long time. I mean, it seems like you got to go really out of your way. But when I was a kid, bees used to land on like other kids at the festival and sting them all the time.
It's almost and when you it seems easier to avoid bees nowadays. It's almost like they have this instinct not to waste their life killing you.
Dude, I'll never forget. I was in line for, and that's a good point. We'll come back to that. But I was in line for a ride at the local festival when I was like eight years old, and the kid in front of me was like a big fat kid, and I just hated him because he was fat and sweaty, and I was staring at him just fucking pissed, just like I hate fat people, and I was looking at him, and and I don't know why, I just remember I hated fat people when I was a kid, and this bee came down very quietly and landed on the back of his ear, and he didn't notice somehow, and I just watched. It was like in slow motion, the bee like stuck its butt up and stuck its stinger out and just slowly inserted it into the kid's ear, and it must have been a wasp actually, because it just stuck it in and pulled it out and flew away, which I think is only a wasp thing. So it did that and flew away, and it was like all in slow motion, and the kid like put his hand up to his ear, and I saw his face go like all cryy and tears like start to come down. He's like and ran away. I was like, dude, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. The bee just came down and fucked that kid up. But yeah, no, I mean,
willed it to happen. It sounds like
it does. Yeah, I hated that kid, and I summoned a bee down to sting his ear. So Alex is saying he almost feels like a bee these days, since they're dwindling in numbers, they stay away from people a little better, and they think, you know what, I'm going to cut my losses. We're not going to go around by garbage cans stinging kids with their root beer anymore like they used to.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's just less of them to get that job done. You know, they reprioritize.
And bees are very efficient, right?
They are,
always assign jobs.
And they have jobs.
You know a shitload about bees.
Yeah,
what are these? First of all, what are we talking about? What are these? What are
neonicotinoids?
Neonicotinoids. You told us about this fucking many months ago, but refresh us.
They're prevalent in most pesticides that are being distributed right now, and they cause colony collapse disorder, which basically makes the bees lose their minds and forget that they're bees, and then they abandon the hive, or they experience mass deaths. They abandon the queen. Their colony just collapses. That's it.
And so it's basically almost like what happens to a human colony when it starts ingesting tons of excitotoxins and artificial sweeteners and shit. And we just become completely nuts and disconnected from our purposes. So that's what's happening to the poor little bees.
The poor bees. I love the bees so much.
What about the rich bees?
The rich bees can afford the antidote.
Yeah. So but why? But why should people be incredibly alarmed about this?
Because 2/3 of our food that is grown from the earth is made possible by the pollination of bees, and without bees, it becomes a nearly impossible task. There's an area.
Can't we just find ways to do stuff?
There's an area in China. Yeah,
we wouldn't have to if the bees weren't.
No, we wouldn't. But just to play devil's advocate, wouldn't it seem that we're at the point with technology and stuff that we could figure out ways around it?
Here's what they're doing in China. They take paintbrushes. This is in one province in China where the bees went extinct due to the overuse of pesticides. And they take little tiny paintbrushes made out of down feathers. So they pluck feathers off of baby birds, make them into paintbrushes, and then they artificially pollinate acres and acres and acres and acres of crops because they don't have bees to do it for them. And it takes an incredible amount of manpower and time.
Totally inefficient.
Completely inefficient. And the scale upon which it would have to be done in the United States in order to sustain our food supply is literally impossible. So
I want things to change.
I do want things to change.
So we got to. I want to talk about this. What do we do? I'm playing a fucking garden this summer.
Yeah.
What kind of things are like good bee promoter plants?
Let me pull up a
Find that out.
And
let me pull up a list. But
I think there should be a revival in the Johnny Appleseed spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Seed bombs. That's actually a growing movement in the bee conservation effort.
And it's
where
not hard,
just
it doesn't, sorry to cut you off. I keep doing that tonight, but you don't have to be like, have permission you can just fucking go to anywhere and plant seeds that you want. Just throw them down, go in the woods. You'll be fine. Promote some bees.
And in Illinois, most of these plants would be naturally occurring wildflowers anyway. So they encourage people to make these these seed bombs, which are just seeds, like a handful of seeds basically. Drive around, throw them onto grass medians when you're driving your car. If you're next to some grass at a stoplight, throw a seed bomb out the window.
Yeah.
Grow some wildflowers.
And
it's just that easy.
I mean, and really everyone has access to acres and acres of forest preserve.
Yeah.
Just
fucking plant some bee plants. It's not that hard.
Pretty them up anyways. Most of the forest preserves around heavily populated areas look fucking horrible anyways.
Yeah.
Plant some shit.
Good point, Vin.
Make them look good.
How do people get involved with that seed bombing shit?
You just do it.
Just get some seeds. I'll put links up. I'll find some. I've got a whole backlog. of
Sunday
links
Evening
for
Overdose
seeds.
on Facebook. We're gonna post all the plants that you need
If
to
people
help the bees out.
Want some ideas of things that they can plant?
Because it sounds cheesy, but we gotta kind of get on this.
We gotta do
I think.
something. Let's see.
It's not looking good.
Sunflowers, marigolds, cornflowers, lavender, bluebells, crocus, mint, rosemary, thyme, echinacea. All of these promote bee health and give them a job to do. And there's actually a ton of different kinds of, there's a million flowers that you can plant for bees. I'll find the site for everybody. I'll post this one for right now, but I'll find the site for everybody that goes by region of country and tells you exactly what to plant based on where you live to promote the health and longevity of your local bees. And it is time for people to start doing things. Now, Lowe's is no longer going to sell. It's going to continue to sell while it has contracts with whatever distributors.
So this is
and then it will no longer renew their sales of neonicotinoid containing pesticides.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out, if people doubt the power of the free market, we are getting some shit done.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are getting some shit done out there.
There was there was an enormous petition that caused this to happen as well. Well, it played a role at least. A lot of people went to Lowe's directly and said, hey, you have to stop doing this. So,
hey, just another reason to support your local stores and family owned businesses that aren't fucking you around.
Yeah,
You
no
know?
kidding.
I just went to the local hardware store right here. I live in a pretty small town, and old fucking hardware store down on a nice old little road. It makes you feel cool to go down there. It's like you're in an old fishing village or something, Go down there, and I went to get some screws, and you always, for whatever reason, it's the small town hardware store. You just start talking to the guy, and then you're there for, and we start talking about bees. All right. So we had this whole conversation and we're talking about bees, and he goes, yeah, actually I got this honey here. And I looked down, he's got a bunch of honey on the counter, jars of honey. He goes, yeah, my wife is a beekeeper, and fucking mason jar full of honey, $9. So I bought my screws. The rest of the money I had in my pocket was exactly $9. I was like, I got to buy your honey, because I was so eager to support something just like that. I didn't even want the honey. I gave it to my girlfriend.
Local honey is so good.
I just want it's great, but I'm not going to use it, and so I gave it to her, but I just was so eager I just bought it compulsively because I'm like, yes, great. I'll do it.
I'm like that too.
It's so,
with local businesses.
Go around to your local places, man. You'll find stuff like that. The world is not as homogenized as it may seem if you don't make that small effort. Make that small effort. Go out to your small neighborhood joints. You know,
Yeah.
it's cool shit like that going on.
We actually bought a giant jar of honey one time from bees that we had the pleasure of meeting in person before we purchased the honey from them.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to meet the bees who made our honey, and then it was the best honey of all time.
What if they stung you? Would you have bought some?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were just doing their jobs.
You could walk right up to their
Bee
hives, though, and they
apologists.
wouldn't sting you. There was like hundreds of
those
bees,
bees were
swarming
used
all
to
over the
people.
place.
Yeah, they were just hanging around.
Do you think do bees actually get like domesticated to where they're just used to you and they
think
know,
all
hey,
animals
that's
do.
the guy that brings in the fucking the shit that we like or whatever. He
I'm
sprays
sure
us
they
with that
do.
cool stuff that gets us high.
No, I
Fucking
think
that bee weed that they spray out of that
Yeah.
turkey baster.
Weed guys here.
I think any
Yeah.
intelligent animal can put that together because they're just like tigers and stuff. That some will attack people, some won't. They're lions. It depends
Bees
on.
are-
Not if they know what's good for them.
It depends on. It depends on if they've been around people or not. If they're used to it. If they've never seen it before, and they're not gonna fuck with you.
And for a bug, bees are remarkably sophisticated and
Oh, yeah.
complex. You know,
Yeah,
their
yeah.
housing system, their cemeteries. They've got little inner honeybee cemeteries.
They mourn.
They look cooler
They
than
mourn.
other bugs.
They have specific jobs. They have bees.
They do,
whose
like, little
sole
bee
purpose
funerals
is to
and shit.
paramedic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
I
going
mean,
to
they
my
are-
argument about everything I was saying before now.
What?
You were like, only people are doing this shit. Now you're naming all this shit that bees do.
Yeah, but I don't see any fucking bee TV stations or any bee bicycles.
No, but they
Give
do
'em
have-
time.
Fucking,
Because
yeah.
bees don't play that shit.
Yo, calm
They
down.
have
Don't
they
scream
have
in the
a bee
mic.
building though. They build their nests.
I've never even
They
seen
don't
a
play
bee.
that.
Call it a
Have you ever
nest.
even seen a bee with a fucking pocket knife? No, nothing. That's my point.
All
They
right,
got a
fine.
knife on their asshole.
We're whooping ass.
Yeah, they're probably like, you ever seen a guy with a stinger? What a dumbass.
Yeah, dick.
They don't
guess.
play. They don't play that.
They're sitting around their little bee coffee tables, chuckling with
Laughing
their
about you.
bee coffee mugs. Yeah.
In a bee bathrobe.
Look at this asshole
With their
No
bee
stinger.
cognac.
So anyway, if you guys want to help bees, I'll put up a list. We will save some bees this summer. It's about that time to start planting.
Look, bees are remarkable, but they're nothing like us.
Well, here's a topic. Speaking of conservation and insects and whatnot, we need protein, and we can't just keep raising cattle. And I'm always saying I don't understand why we don't have like grasshopper patties that you could buy. I would eat that.
I think because in America they seem icky.
They do seem icky, but I've thought about that before. Like the Native Americans, when they lived in the same places that we live now, when cicadas come.
Yeah. I've eaten cicadas. That's
every
how I
17
know.
years,
Yeah.
they must have
I
had
ate
a
one.
feast, And when there's any because there's a lot of like seasonal locusts around here, and they'll get really thick. And I mean, like for a long time, people had to have been eating all that shit. That's a lot of protein. It's a lot of
No
good.
fat.
Those
protein,
those exoskeletons
no carbs.
are good. Yeah.
You don't eat the exoskeleton.
Yes, you do.
Really? I never did.
Barbecue it up and it's crunchy.
We just ate the abdomens, like stir fried basically, of cicadas. And my mother-in-law once had this stuff from Korea that was like, because they were Korean, and she came back and it was like bug larva that was like kind of fried or freeze dried or something, but it tasted like corn pops cereal. And she was like, "Oh, you like that,
dude? I've eaten some larva.
It's larva, yeah." And I was like, "Oh, it's really good though." Like, I don't know why more Americans don't do that.
It's a big protein boost, and it makes you feel good. Like I've eaten like ant larva. There's like in Thailand, if you ever eat like Thai food, you can get like ant eggs and stuff,
Right, but
I've eaten that, and it like I don't know if it's just a mental thing. But it was like, wow, I'm glad I ate that because I need there to be a reason that I ate it. So I just made it seem like it gave me energy. But I think it made me feel good when I ate a shitload of ants.
I mean,
one time.
but that's the American thing where it's like if you're seeing it, that's why I was like, why don't we have like grasshopper patties? Like, how you get those fake meat patties like Boca Burgers and shit?
Yeah.
Why don't we have like available like grasshopper patty?
All right, I've got a list for you guys to support.
I'm
what
sure
you're
that
saying
there is
here.
though. I'm sure you can get them.
But they should be widely available, is what I think. Yeah.
Well, you know
start
what?
that.
Then if you start buying them, you'll start that.
Well,
You'll start that process.
Maybe I should start the company. Is what I should do. Yeah.
But it takes people buying them to make them more available. No one's gonna fucking make them more available until there's a demand. So
Starts with you, Matt.
yeah, it starts with you. You know what? God damn it! Right, this is a thing. We're getting bug burgers and we're eating them on the show.
All right, cool.
Can we get some?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got?
Bug
All right.
challenge.
I've got a list here called 7 bugs you'll be eating in the future. So
Okay.
the author of this article.
But can we get them now?
Yeah, we can get them.
Okay.
We can order all sorts of stuff. I'll look on Amazon
All
tomorrow.
right, is everybody here down to eat bug burgers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Saute that shit.
I mean, what's the
Well,
difference, dude? I'm
the
gonna
thing
probably
is,
throw up because I'm
keep in mind-
I'm not good with that kind of shit. But
Yeah.
I will probably throw up, but I'll do it.
I won't
Yeah.
throw up or anything, but
I will.
You gotta keep in mind. You gotta keep it low cal. Can't be fried. I'm serious. Like, no, but I'm just
Southern
saying.
California
with my
has the
no,
best
I mean
bugs.
low
Yeah.
calorie.
Oh,
You
I know. I
know,
was
like
just joking there.
Low calorie.
you
All right,
know,
well,
what
here's
can
what
we
it's
get?
got to
What can we
stay
get?
within the parameters
All right,
of
hold on,
my
hold on.
working anorexia.
Hold on, what
Is
can
all
we-
I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, so our
what can we
most common options are going to be mopane caterpillars.
What do those look like?
They are the larval stage of the emperor moth,
Yo, that sounds giant.
and they are common throughout the southern part of Africa. These are probably what Timon and Pumbaa eat in The Lion King.
oh,
Any non-larva bugs?
Well,
Is
yeah,
there any
I've got all
non-
sorts of them. I'd
rather have
so.
like he was saying. I'd rather have like a grasshopper burger.
Okay, these are
Hold on, let's
caterpillars.
go around the room real quick. If you had to have a burger made out of an insect or a bug, I like the grasshopper thing, but I'm not gonna take it just because you thought of it already. I'm gonna rethink it, and I'm gonna go cricket. I'd eat a cricket burger. What do you think? Anybody?
Grasshopper, like a no, like
What kind of bug?
You know
Any
those
bug.
big
Any bug.
mantises or something like that.
Yeah,
praying
mantis.
mantis.
Big mantis.
Because that's almost like an animal.
And
that almost has meat.
I want something that maybe it's a predator. Yeah, they have meat on them, and they're not like a dirty animal. Because those jump around, they avoid shit. They're smart.
Yeah. Those things are good.
Mantis burger.
A cricket's down in the dirt, just eating
You guys
whatever.
are forgetting what part of
Yeah.
it you're actually consuming, though. Like I said, you're thinking of it as like an animal, like you're gonna butcher it. It's this big. You're eating
You're
the
eating the
abdomen.
whole thing,
You
yeah.
want
but
the
aren't you eating the
I've seen some
exoskeleton?
really big
Thorax.
mantises.
The exoskeletons where all the protein is.
No,
Yes.
the protein is in their abdomen, man. It's like a fucking yeah. It's like
I had it backwards.
yeah. The exoskeleton's just like
It's like their
calcium and
bone,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
You're eating,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
it's all
Yeah.
right there in like a pellet, basically.
Okay.
is what you're eating.
So Andrea, what other kind of bug burgers can we get? Well, we didn't get David boxes. What kind of bug burger?
I was gonna say ants, but have you ever eaten ant? I know you
I
said you
ate
ate
ant
the ant
larva. They were like
were they
egg
sour?
sacs. No,
If
they didn't
you
taste
eat-
like anything.
If you eat
Fire
an
ants
actual
when you're in the mood for something spicy.
no,
Yeah, I put tons of hot.
Shut
I
up.
put tons of hot sauce on my ants. You could better fucking believe that.
when you
And-
eat an actual ant, it's real sour. Do you remember Warheads? That candy?
Yeah. So have you
Eating
eat,
a- yeah.
you've eaten ants?
Yeah,
I've never
eaten
done that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've eaten plenty of
Oh,
ants.
we talked about this before. They taste like lemons. You said
They taste
yeah.
like lemons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy Longlegs tastes like black licorice, from what I've heard.
Oh,
I heard mantis tastes like pussy.
boo.
How would you know?
I will be honest with you. I have always wanted to eat those things that Timon and Pumbaa are when they peel back the bark on the log.
Sometimes a larva looks so good.
Oh, like so juicy.
And it's like,
and
I know it's going to taste bad, but I just have this primal.
maybe it like bursts a little when you bite into it.
I'd eat
all
I'd
the
eat
life energy
any
just right
bug
in your
that
mouth.
was chocolate covered.
Yeah.
Any chocolate covered bug I'd eat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, Andrea,
right.
let's finally do it. What
Okay.
kind of bug burgers
So
can we get?
mopane caterpillars, they're usually boiled in salted water, then sun dried. So I don't know if those would make a very good burger. Chapulines, which are grasshoppers from Mexico.
Back it up. Sun-dried caterpillar sounds fucking delicious.
Yeah.
Sun-dried caterpillar.
That sounds delicious. I didn't even imagine sun-drying them.
Yeah.
Now I'm down. Now I'll eat a
Ooh,
caterpillar.
bug jerky.
That sounds fucking delicious.
And they're incredibly nutritious too. Those mopane caterpillars are really nutritious.
I'm not gonna
They
lie.
are incredibly high in iron. And they're a good source of potassium, sodium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, manganese, and copper.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I've seen caterpillars baked by the sun. If you ever lived in the South, maybe in like way down south like I used to live, there are caterpillars everywhere.
Mhm.
And once in a while you'll see one baked by the sun and they look fucking good. I kind of want to pick it up and crunch it, but you
Yeah.
don't do it. But yeah, dude, I've thought for a long time caterpillars look really good. And that sun-dried thing is really, that's got my
Yeah.
mouth watering.
Salt,
what else?
salt them a little
I
bit.
prefer it to be dry and like cooked through thoroughly.
That's what I like.
I don't want anything juicy jumping and
No,
popping in my mouth like you
exactly.
said.
Yeah.
anything I've eaten before in the past that wasn't insect, it like the cicadas that was like stir fried, so they were cooked all the way through, and it really was just the texture of like a baked potato.
That's what my dad ate one. He said the exact same
It's
thing
like a baked potato.
when I was a little kid and they came. Yeah, the cicadas were a strange phenomenon. A ton of people ate them. But that's what appeals to me about the sun-dried caterpillar is it's cooked all the way through. It's like caterpillar jerky.
Yeah,
that's fucking delicious.
Yeah, all right, we'll look into that.
That's delicious, especially 1,000 of them mashed into a patty. Fucking, I bet it's like kind of hard to bite through, but then you do, and it's like really satisfying to chew it.
So you're liking this more and more. It
Yeah, I'm
sounds
digging
like,
it.
yeah.
What else can we get?
All right, so we got chapulines, which are grasshoppers from Mexico.
Okay.
They are often roasted, flavored with garlic, lime juice, and salt, or with guacamole or dried chili powder.
I'll eat anything Mexican. So
And they are rich sources of protein. Let's see. We also have witchetty grub, which is from Australia. And to a lot of people there, it is considered a dietary staple. So they're eating grubs in Australia widely.
Yeah.
Says
yeah, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like Matt's saying, it comes out of the ground everywhere.
Yeah.
That shit's crawling out. Just going.
They get on you.
Hey,
Just
I'm healthy.
Take it off and eat it.
And I'm basically not even a sentient being.
Toss
I'm
it
just
on the barbie.
I'm just a dumb thing with 6 eyes that no one cares about. Eat me.
I'm delicious.
Eat me.
So these things they taste like almonds when they're eaten raw, or they can be cooked lightly in hot coals, and then they turn more into roast chicken.
I keep thinking about eating spiders, and I'm getting like chills
No,
up and
no
down my
spiders.
spine.
I don't want no spiders. No way.
No spiders.
That sounds good though. The witchetty, or what was it?
Witchetty grub.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, some of these sound pretty good.
But the
Like-
Mexican
like
thing, I
anything-
think we can get. I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit torn. Sometimes I'm thinking like a juicy grub might be like satisfying, like a grape full of protein.
Yeah.
That's just like a fucking a giant grape of blood and guts. Just
Yeah.
but like
Rubbing it on your teeth.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then other times that's sounding gross. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's see
All
what
right.
else sounds
We
good.
got termites are up next.
no.
No, just no. They are
Termites
usually,
they look like ants. They're like the same thing as an ant.
Yeah. Let's see. Fried, sun-dried, smoked, or
Here's why I
steamed.
don't want a termite, because it has those clear wings. That
They're
seems
gonna bite your fucking tongue.
Well, no, they're not alive when you eat them,
Okay.
but it seems gross to eat something with that clear wing situation.
Yeah, I don't think I
That
want to eat
clear-
something with a wing.
The clear wing, that's just imagine how
Yeah.
it crumples in your mouth, how it's like the outer skin of one of those wafer cookies. It's like the most
Yeah.
outer layer just like crumpling down in your mouth, and then you got to chew it up. And I think a wing, no matter how much you chew it down, like all the particles still remain just as crunchy. So the whole time you're chewing, you've got wing crunch.
It's in your teeth.
take
Wing
the-
Crunch is gonna be the new cereal.
Dude, you take the wings off. Now, if you're eating,
you
if
got to
you're-
treat the termite.
Never get
yeah,
soggy.
if you're eating the termites, you're taking the wings off. I hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would hope so for
If
sure.
you're not
Do
a
you know what I
fucking
mean?
idiot, you're
Those,
taking the
like,
wings
don't
off the
you think-
termites.
Don't you think those clear wings would just stick in your teeth and shit?
Yeah.
Just like all that little like wing material, and then you're like, and so when you eat a salad, and 20 minutes later, a piece of lettuce comes out of your like gum, and you're like, oh, I'll just swallow that down. Is that? So now,
Do you do that with the bug?
You're eating termites, and a piece of wing comes out 20 minutes later, and you're like, okay, I got overeating termites. Oh shit, a thing came out of my teeth. It's a wing. Do you swallow it? Oh god, swallowing.
I'm at a
old,
business meeting. If I spit out this wing, I'll look ridiculous.
old rotting mouth wing. Swallowing. I can't spit it up. I can't spit it up.
They'll have a field day.
Yeah. What else?
all right.
Can't handle his
African-
termites.
African palm weevil. So this is a delicacy among many African tribes. Collected off the trunks of palm trees. They are usually about 4 inches long
Too big. That's gross.
and 2 inches wide. Fuck, we got to find a picture
Those
of
are like
these.
giant cockroaches,
Dude,
probably.
yeah, I was like,
Fine
any
with that.
African shit, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
all
know.
right. Skip.
And
Vetoed.
Yeah.
that's the same way
As
our
far
former,
as like
that's-
seriously eating it, yeah, I'm not interested. If
That's
it's
the
like a
same
big
way our,
African cockroach, yeah, I'm not eating that.
I was
Sorry.
just gonna say that's the same way our former co-host felt about people. Any African shit, fuck that. He was a racist. You guys get it.
You know, I really like eating shrimp and shit like that. Like I ate water bugs.
Oh, yeah, water bugs.
What's wrong with
Holy
land bugs?
shit.
I like lobster.
Ooh.
Oh.
Look, here they are on kebabs. Check it out.
my
They're eating
God.
them.
Wow.
They are eating the fuck out of these
There's
things.
that's a giant stink bug
It's a
like you
giant
saw
stink
in
bug.
Aladdin or some shit. Where did we
Ew,
Dude,
ew,
you remember
look at the larva.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and they
Okay.
bring them out on a platter and they eat the ass of the. I could eat that.
Yeah.
You
eat it like an artichoke heart.
Yeah, I would eat that actually.
You would eat this thing?
And it scoops
Because
out
the
it
abdomen,
scoops
yeah,
out.
you just
Do you
you
think when
cook
you
it and
boil
scoop-
it, when you boil it, it gets to be like sort of a meaty kind of?
I think it probably is. I imagine it's more like the potato-y, the baked potato-iness. Yeah,
You get like a baked
it's
potato
just more.
mush.
It's
man.
white. It's whitish yellow, and it's just like mushy.
So you boil a giant beetle and you break it open. You throw some butter and some salt and pepper and you
Sour
stir
whatever
it
you
around.
want to do.
Is
That's
this
the
what 4
fucking-
inches
Suck
look
it down like an
Mush.
oyster.
Yeah, that's about the size of
Mush
it.
beetle. fucking,
I mean, let's not forget it's 4
God,
inches.
if I had $1
really
for
wanna
every
eat that?
girl,
yeah, like
Is that what 4 inches looks
Matt
like?
could fit 4 of those beetles on his dick.
Whoa.
Kidding, Matt.
no, because
Sorry.
then they'd be. No, I could fit one because they're 4 inches long.
Hey, I know that was the joke. I had to exaggerate.
Yeah, I was like, no.
You can
Oh wait,
stack them.
fuck! I
You
went
made
the
my
opposite
cock
way.
sound like
Oh,
I was like,
damn
no,
it.
you made my cock sound like it's fucking 8 feet long.
Yeah. I did the opposite kind of joke that I wanted to do. Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
But I'm just
God.
being honest. There's no joke to it.
Well, I was focusing more.
You're talking about a 16-inch cock.
Right. Well, that was what I meant to say. Matt has a 16-inch dick.
Of course.
I've
Take
seen
that.
it.
Right.
And really, what was happening?
That would be a curse.
As a black person, 16 is no big deal.
What was happening? I was focusing too much on trying to get Alex to pass me this joint. That was it.
All right.
I took my math the wrong way. How embarrassing.
Next up, we have the regular run-of-the-mill stink bugs is next on the list. So
Nice.
the non-giant type that are usually found in Asia, South America, and Africa. They are usually roasted or soaked in water and sun-dried.
Yeah.
Yeah. As
Yeah,
an
that
added
sounds good.
benefit, the soaking water, which absorbs the noxious secretions, can be used as a pesticide to keep termites away from houses.
This sounds like we could get very sick eating it.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds. I mean, they use the word noxious. I don't think I want to eat that bug.
Mm.
All right,
How
and
obnoxious
lastly,
of them.
our last obvious option is going to be mealworms.
Oh,
no,
duh.
fuck that.
You don't eat mealworms?
That's like a fucking bowl of maggots, dude. I can't do that.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
gross.
What if you
What if they're like all ground up and
mix
formed?
them
I
with
into
might eat.
rice.
mash?
I might eat maggots and cheese.
Dude, mealworms, I mean, all right, I could
I
see,
don't know.
I'm about equal. I could see eating mealworms just as much as I could see scooping out the inside of a
In
beetle.
patty form,
Just as much.
I think I could eat pretty much anything, to be honest, if I don't have
Yeah.
to look at it. But if I got to look at it, like if we got a bunch of those big beetles we were just looking at, do you remember, like I said, in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that's exactly what they bring out on a platter in the beginning. Ever since I was a little kid, I was like, well, you know, I could see trying that. So I could still say, yeah, in my adulthood, I could see trying that. Like,
Sometimes when I'm outside and I look in the garbage can, lift up the lid, and I see a bunch of maggots writhing around, you know, I toss a couple in my mouth, throw a couple on my open wounds, and then throw some in my knapsack for later.
well, the open wounds thing is a good idea, but I
There
don't know
was
about eating them.
Hold on, I'm going to look this up.
And hookworm will cure your asthma and stuff too, if you knew about that.
That's creepy.
No, okay. In third world countries and shit, right? A scientist recently noticed that they do not have things like eczema, asthma, you know, these like rich people problems. You know what I mean? Like these, you know, first world things that are a problem for us, they do not have. And it turns out it's because they actually have ringworm, because having this parasite is actually
Wait, ringworm or hookworm? They're different.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's hookworm. I'm sorry, you're right.
Hookworm.
One's a ring and one's a
hookworm
hook.
is the one that you get, and this is the parasite that you get. Whatever I'm talking about, whichever it is, I'm pretty sure it's hookworm. It's what you get. It's a parasite from walking around in shit. Is the way it's passed around. So that's why it's so common in third world countries. But it's beneficial to you in that the parasite actually keeps your immune system from overreacting, which is what most like allergies are your immune system going berserk. You know what I mean? So it like mellows out your immune system is what this parasite does, so that it can stay in your body basically. And it does really no serious damage. And when you want to get rid of the worm, you can just take some antibiotics and it'll die.
Yeah.
It's not like having a tapeworm where people are like, oh, I got to lose weight and get a tapeworm. That's really a bad idea.
I hate this worm inside of me.
Do you guys see this picture I just put up?
I'm not
What are we looking at? What is that?
Holy
oh my God! What
Christ.
the fuck are you?
What the? Yeah, what is
That's
that?
that a penis?
It's an alive person's penis that has some sort of condition where the flesh has rotted and maggots have gotten inside of it, and it looks like an alive person's penis with maggots coming out of an open wound.
Oh my God!
That looks pretty bad.
It looks like a little pizza penis. It looks like some mozzarella cheese
That
melted
looks
on
really
top
bad.
of there. It's like a little penis hot pocket.
This is making me so sad.
There's only one cure for that
disgusting.
too, and yeah, you know what it is.
Oh, he said hot pocket. Yuck.
Oh God! Please.
Holy shit.
Please look
Are
at
you guys
something
looking
else.
at this?
I cannot. I literally can't. look at the
I can
screen.
look, but I'd rather not.
You
Yeah,
can see
that's pretty
there's-
bad.
I mean, that
Ugh.
this is
You
like
can
a
see the like
there's
white
like we're-
spongy material that inflates when you get a boner.
We're basically looking at a stuffed crust
My eyes
penis.
won't focus on
right here.
images like this.
Oh my God! It's a dick fillet.
Yeah, we're looking at a little. I
Jesus
mean, I
Christ.
just here's what I googled. I googled.
Why'd you do this?
I googled maggots in wounds, and this came up.
and you got
I mean,
an open cock.
This penis is done. This guy's dead. This guy has to have died. I mean,
Oh my God.
but like,
yeah,
we
this
got the
isn't a
window.
thing.
yeah, I mean,
Oh my
are
God!
we,
Remember the guy who had all the maggots in his sinuses?
is that storm kicking up really bad, huh?
God.
Pretty bad out there. We got the tornado warning.
Did you ever look up?
kicking up.
Oh, we did look up Diphalia.
Hey, I know it's a long show. Do you guys want to come back with another half hour or so if I take a quick break?
Well, I have this website where we can
Sure.
choose some edible insect products to order, so maybe we should discuss that. I
We'll
don't know.
discuss that when we're back.
Is everybody down to hang out?
Yeah, we could do a little more, I think.
It's been a full house tonight. Good show. Great people hanging out. This is the Thursday version of the Sunday evening overdose, known as the Thursday evening overdose.
Thursday.
We're gonna take a quick break here on our little internet talk show.
You have to change the image on your screen. You have
Got
to
a
change
picture of a rotting penis up for the listeners right now. If you want to tune into the Ustream, take a look at this rotting penis with maggots crawling out. Looks like a stuffed crust pizza just broken open there. Mozzarella cheese melted on top. Little maggots crawling around. Head of the penis covered in lesions. Hell of a fucking picture for those of you out there. Tune in to the radio broadcast. We will be back in a couple of minutes here.
You got a jar over there? He's got a jar. Matt's got a jar of, he's got a mason jar of water.
I thought it was moonshine for some reason.
It's water that I filtered through a zero filter.
What is a zero filter again?
It's like a Brita filter, but it's better in that it removes everything, and it lets you know. It comes with this little tester that tells you the before and after, basically, of your water, of its impurities.
Does it remove fluoride?
It does remove fluoride.
It's like a little reverse osmosis kind of doodad.
Yeah, I started buying my water at Whole Foods. Just they have you can fill a big jug of reverse osmosis.
Dude,
water
Alex,
for cheap.
Alex, right here, who's sitting in with us, is fucking on top of fluoride. He has you used to tell me all the time. You have sent emails out to a lot of companies asking about fluoride contents.
Yeah. Called countless companies. Yeah, trying to get something affordable. Close
Have you?
So well, hold on. Let's go with this for a second. What did you find out from doing that? Were they eager to respond? Most companies when you email them about that, are they forthcoming with the information?
Some bigger companies had. I mean, they all had answers for that. I mean, because they keep that on record.
So they all had like pre.
Yeah, like Jewel was. I mean, I had to call like actually, they kind of put me through a couple loops at Jewel, and then I found out after talking to one lady that any
like thing that just says spring water is always tap water, and they just put tap water in that and sell it as spring water.
Yeah,
and people buy that like, oh, Jewel spring water, cool.
We talked a lot about bottled water on the Sunday show, and about how Nestle is distributing tap water.
Nestle's
and even
the
worse.
worst, and
Yeah.
they're a big soda company, so
Nestle
they do
is-
everything.
Yeah,
they're the largest
yeah.
distributor of bottled water in the country. Weirdly, yeah.
I never drink it.
Okay, so what's safe? Because we've been buying the Jewel brand bottled water, not knowing any
Which
better.
one?
What is it? Spring water?
Yeah, that's tap water.
Okay.
It's just tap water.
That's fluoridated tap water.
Which one doesn't?
What
have
are some
fluoride?
stuff so when you've sent out like emails and stuff, what's some stuff that's come back that you're like, oh wow, they do? Is there any companies you found that really do give a shit?
Well, no, they really didn't. Jewel, like the only thing I found out was the distilled water actually just had no fluoride or trace amounts of it. And
So distilled water.
Yeah, but Ice Mountain was really cool, and their numbers are all online.
But we just said
Ice.
I thought Ice Mountain was made by Nestle.
They are. Yeah.
Well, I think they got. When did they get?
No,
Is
they're
this
owned-
maybe
they're owned
outdated
by
information?
Nestle.
Because when she said that on the show,
Actually,
I
that
was
might
like,
have
oh
been
fuck, I thought
online
Ice Mountain was good
No, they're definitely owned by Nestle.
because it used to be good. It
Yeah,
used
but
to be no
everything
fluoride.
online says that they're better. But anyways, I've switched to reverse osmosis.
Yeah, that's like one of the
water.
only
It's
things.
like
I
the
can,
only thing.
Yeah.
At Whole Foods, you can get that
Yeah,
shit.
you can get like a big
Aquafina.
jug for a couple bucks, and then it's like 50 cents to fill the whole thing up. Like,
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And so that'll
Let's
take the
start doing
fluoride
that,
out, huh?
hey?
Yeah, that's no fluoride. In the bottles. There's no BPA's. So,
I was about to ask what kind of container it is.
Because
cool.
that was the next thing that I was trying to get rid of because I was drinking all this bottled water, but I realized that I was kind of feeling sick from drinking out of bottles all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
It does. You do get like anyone who's been on the road a lot and shit. You get like a fucking. It's not. You just get really weirded out and sickly from eating out of like all that plastic containers a lot and stuff. Like
yeah, it definitely
does.
affects your.
Yeah, it fucking feels. It feels weird after a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've felt it. I mean, we have been crusading to find like better water for a long time. We have a distiller at our house, but it's like not efficient and it doesn't make a lot and it takes a really long time and it's worth it. But like we use a lot. We can't use our tap water for anything. We don't give it to our pets. We don't cook with it. We don't drink it. I mean, we can't use it for anything.
For nothing?
You brush
No.
your
Why?
teeth
Wait.
with it and
Yeah.
bathe in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
So what's your
same
situation
here.
exactly?
We're hooked to a well. So we
Yeah.
have well water.
Okay.
And it and also it's like super shitty and has a bunch of like rust and sediment in it and sometimes it just comes out of the
And
tap
so you don't use it-
orange and it smells like eggs.
What do you use it for?
The
Washing
laundry because
dishes,
we don't have
laundry.
another
I know that,
choice.
the eggs,
dishes,
water.
showers, brushing our teeth, watering
it,
the lawn,
okay.
end of
Yeah.
list. Yeah. No, so we won't drink it. I won't give it to the animals. We won't even put it in
Cook?
the thing that no way.
Yeah.
Not a chance. It's disgusting.
God damn.
Yeah.
You live in like a fucking rich neighborhood too.
No,
compared to
Yeah.
mo-
I
yes,
live in an
yes.
it's
We're in
unincorporated.
a poor pocket of a generally rich area.
On
yeah.
a world scale, you live in a rich neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean,
on a
Yes.
on a world scale.
yeah,
We
you
all do.
I mean, like any of us do. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
but
we
like,
live in a
You live in a
palace.
place where you should reasonably expect to have fucking drinkable water. You
Well,
know?
we
That's
are
what-
Yeah.
that's what I'm
unincorporated,
saying.
and we pay.
It's richer than most of the country and way richer than most of the world. Most of us around Chicago, we take it for granted that we have these fucking beautiful places to live in. I mean, it really is. It really is
Yeah.
very, very fucking nice. You know.
Yeah.
So
But we are incorporated, and we pay $20 a month for unlimited water, and we mail a check to some woman to pay for our water. Like one time, I called to talk to her, and her kid picked up the phone, and I was like, "Oh, it's the wrong number," and he was like, "No, my mom does that stuff." I was like, okay.
Really? So it's like a family that has a
yeah.
well, and they're
I don't know
giving the
what
neighbor.
it's-
They're giving the unincorporated neighborhood. You're
it's the worst thing you can ever hear when you're trying to find out about your water. Like, I'll check on the water later. I'll ask my mom. Like, I think I'm gonna call the FBI. See you later.
No, it was creepy because I thought I had the wrong number. It was the first time I ever called. I called to set up my information, And our bill comes as a postcard. We didn't even understand that we were getting billed for our water at first because it came as looks like a little junk mail postcard. We didn't understand it was a water bill. It just got mixed in with junk mail. But yeah, it's weird. But it's $20 a month, and it's as much as we want to use, as often as we want to use it. But we don't use it.
Because they know you're not going to use it,
right?
So you're paying a private entity.
It's technically we live in it's an unincorporated subdivision. I guess it's more like a homeowners association, but we rent, so we have nothing to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it our neighborhood has a name, and everybody who
What's
is
the name
in
of
there-
our neighborhood?
Liberty Park.
Liberty Park.
Oh, Liberty
Park.
Park.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Liberty
where we live.
Yeah, remember?
The land of liberty.
Yeah, it's great.
And
there.
eggs.
So you pay some little private thing for your well, and that's
And that's it.
it. Then everything else, you guys buy your goddamn water.
It's we buy it at the grocery store. Most of the people in our neighborhood get it delivered. They get the Ice Mountain truck.
Wait, so if you want to make spaghetti, you're lugging fucking gallons of water from the store?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I do that. I only cook in the water I buy from the store now too.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I don't want the water
God damn,
either.
see that sucks because I got out of the fluoride thing and my tap water is so good. You guys have had the tap water here. You can
Yeah.
tell there's
Yeah.
none of that chlorination.
Why don't you just
It's
let
so
us
fresh tasting.
come over here and
Why don't you
fill
fill your
up
shit up over here?
shit.
doing?
We're morons.
You guys should fill your fucking shit up over here.
We've been chumps.
We've been chumps.
Dude,
All right.
we're off the
Way to go, Andrea. What the fuck?
We're
Where
off
have you been on this bullshit?
off the grid.
What the hell?
We're off the grid over here. We're not even listed on the at all on the fluoridation areas.
Well,
hey,
you should call and try to find out who supplies your water. Maybe it's a private dealer
do you get
too.
Your,
you got
do you
better
get a water
shit
report?
though.
I don't pay any of my own bills.
Do you get a report in the mail every 6 months
It's all
or so?
no, it's all included in my rent. I don't see any of it.
Nothing.
No, I just looked up on where's
Oh, because
Florida
you're only
fluoridated
in
and where
half of
isn't.
a house.
One website or multiple?
No. I looked up on the whatever
government?
dot gov. Florida where was fluoridated and what's not, because they release every year. They give little awards for towns that are fluoridated properly and to the right extent and stuff. And they do publish a list. And right now it's about 70% of towns in the country. But yeah, they put out a little .gov
to shame you guys
page. No, it's just where it just has to be published. It's a
Did you
legal
guys
thing,
hear about
know?
that natural spring that erupted and all these people were going to get free water right around us?
No.
No.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago.
Where'd you hear about that?
My mom told me about it.
All right. What'd she say? You got the scoop or what?
I look it up in our Illinois.
Remember the cave water where that had too many good things in it, where if you drank the cave water you'd start shitting your pants and throwing up?
Yeah, it was too enriched with minerals for consumption.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see anything about this spring erupting.
We get a report every 6 months or so about that tells us exactly how much of everything parts per million is in our water.
Talking to your mic.
Yeah,
Chief.
we can't hear you unless
we're not on the
talking to
air.
mic.
All right,
we're recording though.
Hello.
You think we're just
Forgot what I
talking
said.
like this for fun?
Do you think any of us want to be doing this right now?
Yeah, this is for no
Yeah.
reason.
It's all for show.
All right, what else? Stupid water sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you
All
have to have
water is
thirsty
bad.
now.
I know. Now I'm thirsty. Now I think I need water around me all
I'm
the
thirsty.
time.
I know. I'm just imagining the jugs of water I'm gonna.
How can we
away
go all the
from
time
here.
just thinking that water will be accessible? Again, we're headed towards a water
We
shortage.
need to
aren't we?
hoard it. Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
we are at the apex of the water wars here. Everyone's
yeah.
gonna bomb us and take our
I
water.
think I'm gonna start.
We should all be.
stockpiling- I'm
Dude,
gonna
we should
start
all be just.
stockpiling water.
We should all be stockpiling glass containers of water
Yeah,
everywhere in
absolutely.
our whole house. We should get rid of everything. It should just be water everywhere.
Yeah.
While it's flowing.
Yeah.
While it's
Yeah.
fucking flowing. Clean out of the tap right here. How long is
my
that going to
God.
happen?
Fucking-
that can't go on.
Yeah.
No,
not
it's
forever.
not.
How long can that go on?
Look
at
more
us,
years.
Because I don't even know how any of that shit works.
What total arrogance it is right now. What total arrogance it is, right? Exactly. That we just walk around going yeah, everything's cool. I'll just fucking... You know what I do? When I'm drunk and dehydrated, I drink out of the faucet. I don't even get a glass.
Yeah.
I just drink out of the faucet when I'm about to die.
Yeah.
I fucking.
Same. I only really drink
take
a lot
this
of water when I'm
so
hungover.
for granted. I take it so for granted.
Yeah. I do too. That happens to me a lot less.
This
but-
is absurd. I mean,
Yeah.
we should just be filling up. All we should be doing is filling up containers of water. See, now I'm pretty stoned, and now here's what I feel like. All we should be doing all the time is filling up containers of water and food, and we should just be storing food and
Keeping
water
them.
everywhere, and guns and ammo.
And water.
Totally. What are you smoking?
Just storing it away.
Water weed.
No, really, isn't it nuts that we just take water so for granted?
Then
None of
he
us have
smoked a weed worm.
None of us have any water. If the water turns off, wouldn't you feel so dumb? You'd be like, dude, I could have filled up thousands of gallons of water.
I could have
for
so much water.
cut rate prices.
Yeah.
You know,
my faucet doesn't work anymore, and you wouldn't
All
even
right.
know how much you use that just day to day.
yeah.
With
You got one
like
of
a
those.
faucet.
Yeah, I got one that doesn't work. It's a
and
pain in the fucking ass.
And
Yeah.
you just expect. It's just crazy. You take that for granted.
I was going to point out that your sink is constantly running right now.
I turned it off.
You were able to? I tried. I couldn't get it to stop.
I'm trying
It's
to
like
clear.
a trickle.
I'm trying to clear a path in there. I'm letting the water naturally erode whatever is blocking the whatever's blocking the faucet in there. If it's some mineral buildup or whatever, and let's let the it's hey, you look at the Grand Canyon. Give me 4 more. give me 4 or 5 years with that faucet. It'll get clear again.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Whatever I did, it stopped flowing.
Yeah, that was not good. Thank you very
Sorry.
much for that.
So
God
what would happen
damn
if you
it.
guys just constantly flowed your water like for days?
It would turn orange.
Yeah.
When we use
That's
it a
what
lot,
it
it
does.
turns like orange and brown. I wear a white shirt to work, and I have to buy one every couple of weeks because my water turns it orange, and I can't
That
afford
you-
to get it laundered.
Oh yeah,
elsewhere.
because that water you have a washing
I
machine.
wash my
in your-
clothes
Yeah,
in
you wash
it.
your clothes.
Yeah.
with
I
that.
bet it's cheaper to take your clothes to a cleaner than it is to buy new ones.
Just bring your clothes here and wash them here from now on.
I don't have. But what about a
In the
laundromat?
sink.
You think it's cheaper to buy?
I do my laundry at my
Hold on.
grandma's.
That sounded like a crazy thing you just said. You're buying new clothes instead of just washing them at a laundromat.
It's a $20 shirt. I have one currently, and they get destroyed so fast that you have to wash them anyway. I mean, you have to buy new ones anyway.
This is a work shirt?
It's a work shirt, yeah, and it's white. But typically, I work until 11 p.m. and then I start work again the next day at 10:45. So when in there do I go to the laundromat? What if I have 3 of those days in a row? And I only have 3 shirts, and then when do I go to the laundromat? You know what I mean? It's not.
You could wash your shirt less.
No, I can't because it's white, and I work in a restaurant, so I
you get
instantly
dirt-
get
it
shit
gets
on
in-
it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love not having a uniform or a dress code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uniforms
I
are
like-
the worst.
you
Even
you guys
like
are
simple
fucking
ones.
slaves.
I go to work with
You
what
wear-
I wake up in.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
that
that's true.
shit.
You wear a uniform, you're a goddamn slave.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
am.
sometimes I have to wear black or a collared shirt, but it's not like
Yeah, shit!
wear this kind of collared shirt.
Yeah, I wear this one with our name on it.
Yeah, I don't do that shit.
My uniform is oppressive, and I hate it. But oh well.
Well,
It's the only thing I know how to do. Is
what are
wait
you gonna
tables.
do?
What,
Fuck you!
what were you going to talk about colloidal gold before?
Coitus
Oh.
gold.
I just David Box had done a good deal of research on it a while ago. I just didn't know if you had anything
What?
worth talking about. The guy who found all the gold nanoparticles in the soil,
Monoatomic gold.
Yes.
What was it? What were you calling it? Coital gold?
colloidal.
Colloidal?
I think you're thinking of colloidal silver.
No,
It's a different thing.
I
That's good
googled
shit.
gold nanoparticles and colloidal gold came right
Oh, okay.
up.
Oh.
So I think they're the same thing.
What do you
but-
get on that? We got into it a little bit earlier, and how gold has such different properties when it's broken down to nanoparticles versus its bulk metal state.
Yeah. There was
So-
this, I forget all the fucking details, but there's a farmer, I think his name is David Hudson, and he claimed to have discovered some of this like gold particle in his soil on his farm. And he had this really detailed story that led him down a crazy path just trying to identify this contaminant in his soil. And it caught the attention of physicists and stuff like that, and he was able to get these tests done on it, and it had all these weird anomalies, like if it heated up to a certain temperature, it got lighter or something like that. It was pretty, I don't know, it was weird, but that led to this whole pseudoscience thing about ingesting monoatomic gold improves the electrical efficiency of how your brain and neurons and everything fire, and the way your nervous system works. That the gold would work as a superconductor in your body and make you think.
A lot of people I've known have said that, like, yeah, that ingesting gold is not just like when they serve like gold leaf in desserts for extremely rich people. That's not just some like decadent, gesture of just waste. It's actually there's like a reason for eating gold.
Yeah, well, you're
not even that's not even a good example. That's just a symbolic example, but like, yeah, there could be a lot of good reasons, I guess.
Yeah, your body's an electrical system, and I can see how if you could improve the conductivity or at least reduce the resistance that's there, that maybe you can improve the efficiency and capacity of your brain and everything like that. But I haven't tried any of this stuff. You can buy it. You can like go on Amazon and look for monatomic gold, and they'll give you like a solution of something,
Right, yeah.
But I haven't tried any of that shit. But there's plenty of stuff to watch and research, but a lot of them are they contradict each other. They call it different things. Some are calling it monoatomic, some call it monatomic. And it's weird. I haven't really been able to like get a real grasp on it. I'm curious in trying it, but it's like more expensive than I care for it to be than to really, invest in it.
Exactly. Yeah. Is that part of the fucking thing?
And that's what it seems. And then like you'll hear things like,
is gold actually magical? Now, is it not the Anunnaki like we talked about earlier? Is it not one of these fucking canned alien theories that could just easily explain stuff? Is it that gold really has these amazing properties and we are captivated by it, and there is some secret to it?
Gold really is a superconductor. The batteries that I use at work for the broadcast style cameras that we have, they have gold in them for the purposes of holding the charge and moving it where it needs to go the right way. I don't know.
How much gold does it take to do that? A little bit?
In the battery? Yeah. I have no idea, and I actually couldn't
tell you.
Probably
a very tiny amount.
But there is some
less
in
than
there.
you would even need to know.
Right, but
there's gold in your cell phone right now. There's gold. There's
yeah.
gold in a tiny little gold, and probably in those headphones or somewhere. There's gold in a lot of electronics.
Gold, yeah,
stuff.
Gold, but it is a superconductor. That's not right. That's not a fake thing.
It just needs a little bit, and it can do all that. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So I could buy that ingesting gold and getting it in your system might have some benefits to it, but I've heard that gold leaf is not that you're just going to shit it out, and that to really feel what they say is to really feel the effects of gold or have the benefits of gold is to eat it in its quantized.
It's the monoatomic shit.
Yeah, it's like quantized, like as broken down as it can be while still being gold.
Couldn't you have like a grill made of that then, and wouldn't that make you super smart?
A grill made of it?
Yeah, like wouldn't that function just as well? Because then you're not ingesting it, you're not going to lose it. Like, or if all your teeth were capped in that sort of gold.
I don't know. We should get some
fillings with that kind of. When you get a cavity, fill it with gold.
You mean like, would you be getting gold in your system as it breaks down gradually over the years? Yes.
I guess, yeah.
Absolutely. And it'll make you smarter. I mean, I don't know. I assume some of it would break down and get in your system. I don't know that I'd say it's a negligible amount.
Anyone with a grill I've ever seen was generally pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually true. Only the smartest people get grills.
Yeah.
Fucking goons. I used to love living in the South when you just see goons, because you don't see it up here. But like in the South, you'll just see a goon. And, and
what's a goon?
A goon just has fucking big gold teeth, and he loves it, and he's fucking happy about that, and he's out smoking blunts in the park, and he's got a shirt that comes down to his knees and fucking giant pants, and he rides around on a bike that looks like it's made for an 8-year-old. He's a goon. He's just like that's what, like, sometimes, like, in the deep South, man, people who have been in the deep South, you know what I mean by just a straight goon. there's some goons down there. I mean, whatever.
And then there's a ghoul.
Yeah,
that's a ghost.
Goblins.
But like a lot of guys that just have like those big fucking gold tooth grills are fucking retards. Yeah, it is really true.
When I get my teeth recapped, because I need to have it done actually like really soon. I don't know if you can tell, but a lot of my front teeth are all fake.
I knew that the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
Okay, then so you can't tell, but when I get mine redone, it's actually cheaper. I found out too so I was like, oh well, I'm definitely down if it's cheaper. I'm gonna get white gold, which looks like silver, but I'm gonna get white gold because they can't use silver. They told me, because I was like, I want silver, and they were like, well, that's actually white gold. But yeah, they were like, that's cheaper than the porcelain caps you have now. They were like, but why would you want that? Like, that's gonna look crazy. But I was like, I don't care. That's what I want.
Sorry, man. I did not mean to do that.
No, that's cool.
This?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Well, that
backfired. Didn't
Just
it?
say hit the light switch.
could have had your, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of shit over here.
I was gonna get up and do it, but I realized that there was just too much in the way for that to happen.
Yeah, just, white gold
one up.
teeth. I can't wait. I'll look just like my hero Lux Interior, except I'm gonna have a few more than Lux had. Just his front 2 teeth were white gold. I'm gonna have like the front 8 teeth on my tops and bottoms are gonna just be fucking white gold, like Jaws from 007.
I wish the irises of my eyes could be white gold.
They're probably developing a way to do that.
Are we living in, like, is it pretty lucky, like, the full scale of human beings to have all our teeth and know everything about keeping our teeth clean and strong?
We don't know that, though.
Yeah.
I got a hole in one of my
teeth, or we can get fake teeth compared to
God, a
just
big
if you lose
fat
them,
hole in my
whatever.
tooth.
And everyone's teeth are rotting all the time.
Yeah.
Well, our teeth evolved to suit the food that we were eating. Back when people were just like eating berries and fruits and stuff, they just only had to mishmash it, and it was all made of sugar, so it didn't matter that their teeth fell out, you know? Then when we wanted to start eating meat, our teeth had to be a little more hardy, I guess. What about nuts and seeds? I guess you always had to chew nuts and seeds, right?
Yeah,
I've heard the argument.
And maybe that's what wisdom teeth were for.
I've heard the argument that our teeth, the way they are now, are that way because we eat cooked food. That we've evolved to mash up cooked food.
Wisdom teeth are weird, though.
And that's where that's like how we get it.
Right, okay.
The people who cooked had the adaptive trait to survive, and then they
that makes sense.
had the teeth.
Shut up, everybody. Here's why we dim the lights. We have a person in studio who has yet to go through the initiation.
Initiation.
Everybody on 3 will say it. 1, 2, 3. The initiation.
Are you talking about me? Because I don't know what you're talking about either.
No, it's not you.
Okay, I'm like, I must have been initiated then, and I didn't
Matt
know.
has done the initiation.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. The initiation.
Alex, I would need you to get your mouth nice and close to the mic because we want to hear those beautiful lips and what you got to say.
Mouth nice and close to the mic.
Initiation.
Alex, since it's your first time in studio, we have dimmed the lights and we have put the meditation music on because we want to know what happens when you die.
What happens when you die?
What happens when you die?
I think that's like the coolest thing about life is like we're finding out you can figure out pretty much everything about life and the world we're living in, but you can't really figure out anything out about the next life. I mean, you can take other people's philosophies, but that's really just what they have come to think about in their everyday life. And I don't think it matters. I think what does matter is enjoying your life in the moment you have on Earth because it's pretty fucking amazing.
So you just don't.
I don't think it.
You're refusing to answer the question.
What do I think happens when you die?
You don't have like an idea. Like when you die, you don't have any expectations whatsoever. You have no idea, no belief, no. I mean,
Here,
I think that's the best way to go about it.
Die.
Here, you just died. What's happening as it happens? Go.
Well, okay.
Pretend you're dead.
Well, am I dying? Because I'm flushed. I'm flushed with sight. I'm having.
Dead!
Yeah. I hope it's nothing like this. I hope it's nothing like this. I hope I'm flushed with psychedelic chemicals and I have the best trip I've ever had in my life and I flow into the universe, into the stars, and just become a part of the entire universe because it's a pretty fucking big organism, not just here on Earth. I don't know. I think you just kind of get spit back into the cycle of whatever we're in right now. This crazy thing that it's a organism and we're just living in bodies.
So would you call that like a soul or?
Yeah, I mean I believe in like spiritual. I think we all have a spirit. Yeah, I think because like Vinny was saying earlier, humans are so different than animals. And there's something about us, and I think it's like something, our spirit, I don't know what it is.
I'm kind of still on the thing where I'm never gonna die. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's.
You only die to other people, but like you're gonna keep moving and doing stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I ever die. Yeah.
So, Alex, you don't think you're going to die in your consciousness as the way you perceive it?
No. Yeah. It's not going to go down like that. I was just fighting the tiger and I fell asleep.
We ain't going out like that.
All right.
I like the way he took...
I really like what you said. Fighting the tiger,
really like
and then
that.
I fell asleep. That's poetic, man.
That was incredibly poetic. Let's get a take of you saying that with a little echo. Hold on. Can you say that nice and slow? Can you say I was fighting the tiger and I fell asleep? But say it nice and slow and clear.
I was fighting the tiger and I fell asleep.
Sorry. No, that was good. I really like that.
Yeah, me too. Well done.
Yeah.
Initiated.
You just fed a tiger.
Status initiated.
Warning.
Yeah, where's the initiation
Hold
warning?
on 1 second. Let's see here. Higher consciousness achieved. Higher consciousness achieved. Higher consciousness alarm.
Warning.
Nice.
No, yeah. I think I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'll take that.
Taken.
Took it.
Thank you.
Dibs.
Does anyone else, just since we started that up, maybe that's a good way to wrap the show up.
Yeah.
We've all talked about it before, but it really is an endless conversation. Do the rest of us kind of agree with the way that Alex thinks we're going to die?
I totally agree with the psychedelic explosion.
Yeah.
If you've ever done DMT or salvia, I feel like you got a little taste of death.
Yeah, or like enough of a lot of hallucinogens.
Yeah.
You feel that like dying, and I've definitely had that experience. It's like, oh my God, and you just kind of have to come to terms with it. And after you do, it's just a thought that you had, an irrational fear. It's fear.
If you've never had an out-of-body experience, go down to the supermarket and get yourself one. And you might understand death a little better.
In the LSD aisle?
How do you mean?
I just feel like
What can you get at the supermarket?
No, I was just being stupid.
That was a metaphor.
But I don't understand. They don't sell drugs at the supermarket.
No. You're misunderstanding the... Yeah. I wasn't saying that you can get drugs at the supermarkets, but go do some drugs, or if you got the time, do some deep meditation and have an out-of-body experience,
or both. Do both at once.
Yeah.
Dude, meditating on acid is pretty much the greatest thing that's ever happened ever. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
I once battled a fucking evil entity in the mirror on acid because I started fucking channeling and scribing, which is where you look back and forth into the reflection of a reflective surface, and then you catch the reflection in the reflective surface of the reflection of yourself in your own eye of your reflective self. You picture what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
you look
I've done
into
that.
your reflection, and then look into the reflection of your reflection of your reflection of your reflection, and you keep going deeper and deeper, and eventually you will have an interdimensional out-of-body experience, and you will fight a demon. I really did it. I'm not kidding you guys.
No, yeah.
I'm not kidding you guys. I've told the story on the show before.
Yeah.
That's the best way to
I
fight
battled a
bad-
fucking dark spirit right there in that mirror. Do you see that mirror right there? It was that one.
What dark spirit of yours was it?
It came out of my face.
Really?
It just was part of me. It was part of everything negative that I've ever done. Part of the reasons that I take negative paths instead of positive paths
And what
in my
it,
fucking life.
what did it look like? A face? Or?
No, it looked like me, but evil and just dark. It looked like
like an older, shitty
wasn't
turned
like
out
that.
version of you. Or
no, it was just like it just was a thing trying to come out of me. It didn't look like anything. It just looked like.
So it wasn't just something you were seeing in front of you. It was coming out of you in the mirror.
It looked like a different version of me that I was fighting with. That it was like the evil me versus the good me almost, And it could have been totally symbolic, but it was incredibly real to me at the time.
You can reprogram the way your brains work basically by using LSD or any psychedelic.
No, and
trip.
me, in my reality, I fought a demon. I swear, I'm serious.
Jesus, fuck.
And
Aren't you listening?
And that's so clear now in your brain that you're gonna forever think that. So it's.
There will be a part of me that no matter what you ever tell me, I know what I felt that night, and I know the exhaustion after and I remember the resolve that I had to have, because the only way you can beat something evil is with total love, and I remember that I had to learn how to love what I hate to win that night, and I was staring in the mirror, and I was like, I remember just kind of laughing, because I was like, oh, you think you're gonna take over with pure negativity? Like that actually fucking works? Like you don't understand the most basic of what's powerful in this world is light and positivity. So I will just use that, and I will love you for your ignorance, and I'll pity you as the dark demon you are, and hope that one day you ascend. And that's how I beat it.
Demony.
It was real to me.
Yeah.
Demons
We've talked
don't
about
play
this
that
before. I believe it was real to you.
No, I believe it was very real, and the demon is just like a metaphor for like you said, the shitty things. It just manifested itself in a visual format for you under the drugs.
Under the drug, it led
and
me there.
it, but it helped you work through it, and you work through issues with
real,
stuff like that. Yeah, oh yeah. You can work through an issue like that though at a very fast pace, right? Like the next day, you had sorted things out in your brain that most people take years of, going to a psychiatrist to work out, but you did it on your own in one, probably what was really like, it felt bad and everything, but it was probably only like 2 hours or so.
Here's the thing. It was my third try. The previous 2 times, I got too afraid. I had done acid 2 times before that and stared into that exact mirror, and I knew what I was doing. The third time I did it, I was in a little bit more of a fuck it kind of mood, and I had been drinking a little more, and I had done a hit of acid. So I wasn't tripping balls, but I was in that acidy thing.
Well, that's when you can have the bad trips. Is when you don't take enough to
here's what
go
I did.
over the line.
I stood in front of the mirror and I was like, you know what? It was almost like, remember the first time you have sex where you're like, I'm going for it. I don't
remember
this is it. Yeah, I do. But I just remember like that like first penetration of like, my life is going to be different after this. I'm going for a new thing. Staring into that mirror was like that same moment of like, all right, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm interfacing with this new experience, and I'm making a decision to go through with it. Because previously, I had gotten close, and when I would start to see a different being coming into focus, I would get scared and I would stop. And this time I was like, I'm going to go through and I'm going to ask that thing what it wants. So symbolic as it may be, maybe a total creation in my brain, it was incredibly real and incredibly therapeutic. And I was on a fucking high for weeks afterwards, but ever since then have felt stronger and like I have a little bit more control over my inner demons.
Yeah, like
metaphorically.
Right.
Too. You know?
Yeah, that's what's cool. Like that's what's cool about it is you're not trying to chase that high. You took what you learned.
I don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Horrifying.
Yeah, no, I've done acid, and it's make me want to never do any drugs ever.
No,
again.
not acid. I'm talking about fighting a demon in the mirror.
Fighting
It was
demons,
exhausting.
Yeah. Fighting your demons is
I was
exhausting.
sweating and fucking panting at the end of it, and like crying, just like staring in the mirror. Oh my god, I can't describe it to you guys. It was like summoning all the strength you've ever had to summon ever in your life and just focusing it in a loving ray at this beacon of hate that was in front of you in the mirror trying to break out and ruin your life. And I knew if this thing, I knew that if this thing overtook me, that it would cause a fucking curse over. It would be like a negative force in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a giant problem. I'm like, this thing cannot get out of here.
Yeah.
It has to get fucking put in its fucking place. I knew that. It had to be.
Yeah, you can't play that.
No, I don't play that shit. Play that demon shit.
Nah.
But that was the attitude.
Little
That's exactly
demon
the
bitch.
attitude. You had to just be like, fuck, I don't play. Exactly. You're a fucking bitch. You're made of negativity.
Yeah.
I had to look at it and be like, you're made of patheticness. And I love you. I'm so sorry for you. I hope you please ascend. You know? That was what got me out of it. And eventually I just woke up. And then I was back like it is now. Where we're all here. We're talking about this. But things are normal, generally, in the room. I was just like this again. And I had to go, did that just really happen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It did.
Yeah, I've never had anything so literal occur while I was tripping. I mean, obviously you have your revelations and your brain sees things in a new way, and I changed a little bit every single time I tripped, no matter what drug it was on, but I've never experienced anything so such a literal metaphor, you know?
Yeah.
It took, I mean, you're talking about a long time of channeling into the mirror to get to this. I mean, it's like a long process of meditation, and you yeah, it's weird. I mean, like I described to you, you stare into the reflection, and then that reflection, and then that reflection, and then that reflection, and you keep going deeper and deeper and disassociating with your body, and you just reach this place, and these other things come out.
Yeah.
Somebody else taught it to me. You know? I didn't think of it. So
Yeah.
They told me to do that. And I did it.
I don't think I want to do that.
It's scary.
Yeah, it sounds scary.
It is scary. I can't do it sober.
I don't think I want to do that. I was just about to say, even if I'm not tripping, I don't want to do that.
I had to do it. Well, you could do it sober, but you had to have that resolve. You had to have that moment of like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going through this thing.
You know, the way I see it is you should try and have experiences like that, because when you die, it's just like jumping in the pool, you know? Like, you have no choice. You're going to face that realm eventually. And if you can tap into it and get some experience, maybe it won't be such a shitty ride when the inevitable happens. You know?
I think I usually equate that realm to more of a dreamlike state, which is one of the reasons why I spent so much time practicing controlling dreams and being aware of what a dream is like while I'm in it. Because I've always thought that the next thing is more of a dream. You know?
Yeah.
I heard an interesting Terrence McKenna quote about...
No, I just hate that all of you are gonna be dead rotting meat in the ground because I love you guys so much.
Same.
It just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just fucking sucks. What were you saying, Alex? Sorry.
Oh.
Did I just ruin the moment?
I can't follow that.
Yeah, it does suck.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're all always avoiding saying.
Yeah.
I hope that I don't have to know you for too long as a dead person.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I hope I have to know you guys the least amount of time as a dead person.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll all just die together. How
That'd
awesome
be-
would that be?
I've always
do that.
That would be
there was
ideal, wouldn't it?
This is how suicide
is it kind?
cults
No,
start.
actually, yeah. It's really arrogant to think I'll be part of the end of the world.
Yeah.
There was
But it
that
does
heavy
feel like
metal
it's coming.
band. That heavy metal band just died recently all together in their fucking big van. You know? 12
Hey.
people riding in a van. A few of them all died together. Metal people love to die, too.
Yeah, they're good at it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, I mean, there was something kind of romantic about it. It was a big story. Did you guys see that?
No.
I don't know the name of the band, but it just went around. We could mention them for the fuck of it, for posterity, since they just went down touring DIY style like I do. So, of a kindred spirit in that sense. But they went out doing what they wanted to do and being metal and fucking dying in a ball of flames.
Sounds pretty metal to
Yeah,
me.
that's
Yeah.
metal.
Who was that?
See, 3 people died.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4 now.
Okay.
The name of it was from 2 bands. There were 2 bands traveling together. Wormreich and Chaotica with a K, with 2 Ks.
Oh, great.
Chaotica.
Chaotica with 2 Ks. And Wormreich.
Chaotica.
Yeah.
These Swedish bands or like where
They're
are they?
Huntsville,
Yeah.
Virginia.
Huntsville, Virginia. Yeah, dude. The South. What we up here? We're in this. All right, let me just turn this shit off. We're in this little bubble up here, artistically in the North. You really forget until you tour the South. There's a billion cities down there, and they all produce art and they all go on tour. It's a giant culture in the South that we've got Chicago, Boston, New York, Minneapolis. We've got a few things going on up here, but when you start getting on the tour circuit, it's a different story down there, man. There's a billion bands that are just well known, I mean, on a small scale that are they're doing their thing and touring all these hundreds of cities that you never hear about, but they're having a good ass fucking time.
Yeah. So,
That's
not
that's
these
just
guys.
going on all over.
Holy fuck.
What?
Look at that picture. I
Damn.
mean, this
No,
is
they got fucking burned up.
yeah, what the hell? This is half of a van.
I'm
they're
surprised
showing
anyone
here.
survived that shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
There was
A bunch of
12
people
of them
survived,
in there.
yeah.
There was 12 of them. 4 of them died.
Holy fuck. Yeah, this
Do you
is
think they were all meant to die?
carnage. Huh?
Do you think that anyone's meant to die at a certain time?
It'll be now a Final Destination situation.
Yeah. Is that how that
No.
movie goes? I've never seen the beginning of it.
Yeah, they were all meant to die.
Oh,
and
okay.
then
And they separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never saw it.
We just
I've only
live in
seen
the
snippets of it.
we just live in the universe where these guys died, but in the infinity other universes they survived and they're alive and kicking. So in their own minds they're
'cause
still
there's-
driving around, touring and playing music.
There's only a certain amount of ways it could go.
Holy fuck.
Probably went all those directions.
I mean, how did this even happen? They're I don't know, wrapped around a tree or something. It's a horrific car crash. We don't have to keep talking about it. But yeah, they all died together. We could get in on something like that. We'll talk about it.
We'll probably have to because, I don't. The worst thing about living seems to be other people dying.
Yeah.
Isn't that the worst?
Well, I have a lot of dead friends, so yeah, no, it's very true, very true.
It's got to be the worst.
And the older you get, and the more crazy people you know, too, these two things added, you're gonna have a lot of dead friends like me by the time you're middle-aged. Friends that were killed in car wrecks, friends that OD'd, friends that fucking hung themselves in prison. You'll have friends like that too. It sucks.
And then you're gonna die too.
Yeah.
And then we're all together again.
Hooray.
Yay.
I already started this music up, but I'm going to pull it back down because I forgot a couple things.
Okay.
The shows next week are not going to be happening.
No.
They're not going to be happening live. Probably. I want to be out of town with Robot Hilarious doing. Let's see. I just pulled up the poster. If you guys are fucking, I don't know if anybody gives a shit. The 16th of April in Nashville at Turn 1, I think. April 17th, Kitten Fest in Savannah. April 18th, Charlotte, North Carolina at the Milestone. April 19th, Knoxville, Tennessee at some shitty, what is it? Pilot Light. And April 20th, it says Cincinnati, but it's actually Covington, Kentucky at the Backstage Cafe. So I'm going to be doing the shows on the road.
All right.
I think I might rent a car and just follow you around, be like a hilarious head.
You can just come in the van with us if you want to go.
I thought there wasn't room.
A fiery wreck?
There might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be if you have something to offer. We'll talk about it. But so I'm going to be doing that next week. If anybody is listening to us out of town, please come and see me on those dates. I'll be doing my music thing on those dates in those cities. Look us up online. You'll figure it out. Robot Hilarious. So I'm going to be doing the show Thursday in a hotel room with a couple of people. We'll just set up and we'll talk about some shit. Andrea might be able to Skype in, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll do Sunday's show in Knoxville with Jonathan Drone, J Drone, Drinky Art, who sent us the painting that we have hanging up in the studio right now.
Yeah, we like this one.
Oh, we have to twat that too.
Yeah,
let's.
All right.
I don't think we ever did.
I'll make sure we
let's
do.
Instagram that, twat that, and
twat that.
And J Drone, Drinky Art, who has been a contributor on the show, also of the band Punch It. I'm probably going to be chilling with him, and we're going to do a quick show that Sunday. So that's what's going on there for the next week.
All right, cool.
And then I guess we'll be back.
Let's go back to normal after that.
Like 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
It'll be back to normal.
Back to normal.
So what else? Anything?
No, that's it.
Anybody else? Thanks for being here. Mac here. Alex.
Thanks.
You bunch of queers. What else you got?
Queers.
Enjoy the painting. I hope you like the one I brought you tonight.
Oh, yeah. Mac here brought us an awesome painting tonight.
Oh, yeah. We already twat and Instagrammed that.
As always.
I thought that's what you guys were talking about.
No, the other one.
No, yeah. The other one up there is Jonathan Drone. As always, Matt Gear Art. Search it on your searching sites and you'll find him. Matt Gear Art, GEER.
Find it on the internet.
Find it on the internet. And everybody else, David Box, Andrea, and me, I thank you very much for being with us, and we will see you in a couple weeks. The live show will not be happening. I'll just upload it to YouTube. So, all you faggots, hold tight.
Suck a dick.
Eat my fucking cock balls.
Cock balls.
Smoke that skin one again.
Smoke my nuts.
I do.